Hey.
Hey, Timmy.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great. How you doing?
Good. We're talking about my area for once.
Yeah,
Well,
tornado warning up there.
yeah, that's out in the middle of nowhere. That is in the mosquito the mosquito nesting sanctuary. For anyone who's ever been up in this way, there's a lot of mosquitoes, I guess was the joke. Yeah, a little tornado warning that is there. Again, pretty rural area. Also kind of at the edge here of somewhat of the radar coverage. But what's interesting about this, guy, is it's kind of cycled a little bit. Right now, just radar indicated, has a little bit of a notch there. To give you, for those of you who are wondering where this thing is, to give you guys a little bit of location, it's over the woods. Just kidding. Well, actually, yes, it is over the woods right now. But coming up on Schroeder and Toft. Now, the actual rotation part of it's probably going to be staying both of those little communities. These are little communities right up here on the shore of Lake Superior. This is where State Route 61 goes through. Terrible this time of the year to drive around because you got all the tourist traffic and there is absolutely no passing lane because one side is the lake, the other side is a cliff. So kind of limits your passing capabilities. But these little small towns here, like I said, again, certainly some heavy rain with that. This storm does have somewhat of a history of producing some hail too, so there may still be a little bit of hail within that storm. So I do think places like Toft and Schroeder will probably maybe pick up on at least maybe some half-inch size hail, depending upon how exactly this thing tracks. But then after that, this thing's going to be going right over the open waters into Lake Superior, where it likely will not manage to do much more. Maybe we'll see, but really the peak of the severe weather that we're expecting today across this area is really kind of limited to the time frame of a couple of hours ago to about a couple of hours from now. So not a very wide thing. Another storm that we've been watching here is this guy coming right up here out of, we're looking north of Brainerd here. This is out in Minnesota. Now, this storm is a little bit different. This storm is a little bit better structured. It's in an environment that's a little bit more favorable right now for some of that severe weather. It has a little bit of a hook right here, actually. You can see kind of the inflow notch right there. And again, it has this little bit of a hook that's coming out here. Now, this storm has actually not just recently started, looking pretty structured. In fact, the whole time, you and Michael, you and I were talking, I was kind of watching this storm. Is it of the group of storms right now in parts of central Minnesota, this is probably one of the more organized ones here. And even though we're looking a little bit far away from the radar right now, keep in mind, folks, we only have two radar options to pick from: Duluth and Minneapolis. Brainerd, not really near either of those. Small little town there right off the highway. But again, so the brand new tornado warning in effect for there. We can see a little bit of a notch here on the velocities. Again, we've talked a lot about these velocity images. Reds are winds going away from the radar. Greens are winds going towards. We look for high values of them right up against each other. And we see a little bit of one coming right up on the Breezy Point area. Now, further downstream, for those of you wondering, Deerwood. Later on here, we'll put a little bit of a time tracker on it, but funny little town. If you ever go to it, they got their welcome sign. It's a big deer on wood. And I always thought it was hilarious because the town was called Deerwood. Anyways, let's go ahead and put a little bit of a track on this thing. Actually, let's double check the time here. So again, two different radar images you're seeing, same storm. One on the left is reflectivity. That's the precipitation that you're all familiar with. One on the right, velocity. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick little look at this. Again, it's radar indicated, but they're moving at about 55 miles an hour. So pretty decent moving storm here. We're going to track it down to the southeast here. Again, coming up on the little town here of Breezy Point, as well as Mission, and then maybe trying to make its way over towards 210 and maybe 169 here in just a little bit. That will be putting it up around Deerwood here in about 20 minutes or so. Now, again, this area a little bit more built up. It's also very popular this time of the year. A lot of lakes out here, a lot of people doing their fishing. So if you happen to be around this area and noticing the sky is getting a little bit dark, it might be this guy here. Now, again, this is radar indicated. Nothing at the moment is actually on the ground. but we are seeing at least some signs that the storm is rotating. Now, this whole area is actually under a severe thunderstorm watch, not a tornado watch. And the main thing is going to be the hail. But there is enough organization kind of going on right now in the atmosphere that when we talk about these kind of bigger hail producing storms, these will sometimes end up being supercell thunderstorms, which the supercell will help to eventually produce a tornado. So it's not unusual sometimes when we're talking about this type of a setup to see one or two of those storms maybe trying to cycle just enough that it'll have some low level rotation with it. But really the big thing is going to be hail. That's what we've been seeing, and that's what we're going to kind of continue to expect across Minnesota, at least the northern part of Minnesota, over the next couple of hours. Now, keep in mind, folks, this is northern Minnesota, not southern Minnesota. So this is not exactly severe weather alley all the time. But keep in mind here, though, that we have been getting some decent hail reports, anywhere from about 1 inch. We've seen quite a few 1.5 inches, and we did actually get a 2-inch hail report just north of Hibbing. Nothing coming in from Virginia yet, but it'll be interesting to see if there are any reports that come up here. But again, kind of the main focus right now is this guy. Again, north of the Brainerd area, still somewhat over rural areas, but again, you do get enough little communities here. Now, the two things with this storm, I guess two, not four, two things with this storm. One of them being, obviously, yes, it does have some low-level rotation right now, at least according to our radar imagery. And the other thing is that it is likely bringing some hail with it. We have some pretty high reflectivities here, and based on what we've already seen this storm and some of the ones around it do, could very well be anywhere from about 1 to maybe upwards of 2-inch size hail. But that whole storm is not going to be producing that hail. We're likely going to be seeing it pretty much right in this section here where you see those deeper purples. So kind of like our supercells, or, just like our supercell structures that we've talked about before, you tend to see the hail a little bit away from where the low-level rotation is. In this situation, hail might not be preceding that low-level rotation, at least at the moment being. So again, that little thing right there is probably worth seeing that hail right over 50 Lakes. It'll probably graze the Mission area, and we'll see as it goes a little bit further. But this right here is that low-level rotation that we're watching. And again, that is going to be passing pretty much right over or very, very close to Breezy Point, eventually heading its way down to Mission. And then maybe we'll see if it makes us know that every time I hear that town name, Michael, I always think of that welcome sign, and it always just cracks me up. It's funny, though, because if you go to Floodwood, they don't have a funny welcome sign. I guess I don't know what you could do with Floodwood, but I know that Deerwood, you can at least have a little bit of fun with it.
Absolutely. With that, and part of this warning there, Timmy, we're taking a look at the tornado warning in the northeast part, and the warnings have been, in populated areas of like 125 and 300 and so forth. But the storm that you're focused on there, has a population of just under 30,000 people. So it's more populated there. And then I'm watching the Minnesota traffic camera from the Bennetville area. So that's at the very end of the tornado warning. So it'll be quite a while before it gets there, but I'll be monitoring this camera here. That's the closest camera that we've got to the storm.
Yeah, again, for those of you who aren't familiar with Minnesota, once you get north of Minneapolis, it really does become incredibly rural. Not like farm rural where you can see things. We're talking forest here. As a matter of fact, once you get north of Duluth even, it's straight wilderness. National parks are built up more than some of the areas over here. So, and by that, there just really isn't a lot to see because there's so many trees in the way, which again makes sometimes spotting for low level rotation or anything along that line is very difficult because, well, you have a forest in your way and it's in full bloom right now because, it's mid-June. Not only that, but then you have to find a storm spotter or a person who's brave enough to step outside and get eaten alive by mosquitoes while they're trying to look for this. So not exactly the best viewing area sometimes, but certainly one that is no stranger nonetheless to at least tornadoes, not obviously to the scale like the Deep South, but certainly get some big ones every now and then. They'll try to make their way through. Now, we're not really expecting that tonight. Mainly just kind of expecting a hail thing here. But again, can't rule out the possibility for maybe a brief little tornado. Obviously, with this storm up here that's passing just to the rotation part of it, pretty much going to be just to the south of Schroeder, coming right over the highway. In about 1 or 2 more radar scans, it'll be over the lake here. So this guy is not really going to be affecting much more. However, you see we still have quite a bit in the way of thunderstorm activity, and obviously the strongest one here being this guy down here. Now, the rotation of it, again, still looks like it is holding out a little bit here. And again, this is probably going to be one of those storms that's mainly just more or less of a hail maker. But with that in mind, though, again, big hail-producing storms have rotation with them, naturally. And every now and then you can get that rotation and maybe tricycle down a little bit here. Maybe briefly is something that we could possibly see with this storm here. So again, this is not, anything major, but certainly there nonetheless. And like I said, if you happen to be driving through it, you probably will be driving through at least a little bit of hail. And again, maybe upwards of about 1 to 2 inches. And so the other radar image I just put up here that you see on the right, this is the VIL radar image, vertically integrated liquid. This is measuring basically the amount of moisture in a column of air, courtesy of dual pole radar. And basically what you need to know is where you start seeing those white colors, that big blob of white that you see there, yeah, that's a good indication that there's hail. So without going into the units of it, which I don't feel like having to deal with those units at the moment, Michael, you know what I mean. They're in kilograms. It's. Nope. But basically, this area right here is where that hail is likely. So again, that would correspond right here to this portion of the storm. So again, this is probably going to be the main thing with this storm. Even if it does maybe lose some of that low level rotation, it might still be capable of producing about 1 to maybe 2 inch size hail. Now, we've had a few hail reports, like I said, further back from this particular storm. Most of them appear to have been within the 1 to 1 3/4 range. Walker, about 1 3/4, and then Navis, small little town there. Navis got about an inch and about 1 1/4 inch size hail there. Fun fact for those of you who like your geography, Park Rapids, the town back here, right at the edge of the radar scan. That's where you go from straight wilderness to basically being in the Great Plains. It's actually very interesting how sharp that transition happens. You go from, like I said, straight forests and woods and lakes to fields once you get on the other side of Park Rapids. Detroit Lakes, all that back into North Dakota, it's plains. So always thought that was very interesting, doing that drive on how quickly that transition happens. But otherwise, like I said, we have another storm too. Again, this guy coming up on Floodwood. The thing about this section here of the storm is that these storms were looking really good not that long ago, but they've kind of started to weaken at least a little bit right here around the Meadowlands and Cotton area north of Alborn. However, this storm's still holding up pretty nicely. In fact, it may even be trying to develop. Let's take a look here a little bit. I am curious here if it might be trying to develop a little bit of a notch here around the Balsam area. So we'll keep a little bit of an eye on that. Just given the environment, wouldn't necessarily want to rule it out. But this guy does too have a history of producing at least 1 to 1.5 inch size hail. Now, this guy can be tracking a little bit more to the east-southeast. So that could be putting it in Cloquet here. Maybe in the next, let's go ahead. Let's just not estimate. Let's just go ahead and put the time track on it here. We're just going to kind of leave it out there, even though it might not take this exact course, but it will be putting it in the Cloquet area on about 40 minutes or so. Still a little ways to go. Still a lot can happen with this storm. But now we start to get, like I said, into more of the suburbs, if you could call it that, of the Duluth Metro. We start picking up a little bit more towns. Obviously, Carlton, Cloquet, this whole area, a little bit more built up, though still somewhat rural. And then obviously you head into Duluth and Hermantown, Superior, northern Wisconsin. That's where I am. A little bit more built up. But for the moment, this guy's still kind of over rural area. But we'll keep an eye on that because, like I said, looks like it might starting to be trying to develop at least a little bit of a notch. Whether, we'll have to see exactly how this thing goes on. But it is now being tagged for possible tornado, which, in weather jargon means that this thing may be trying to rotate a little bit more here. And like I said, it's not the strongest rotation at the moment. Just a little notch right here. But again, we kind of got a little bit of a clear inflow, little bit of a notch trying to develop. We'll see what this storm does. Right now, pretty much over Balsam, Savannah, Portage State Park there. Still kind of a rural area, but it is kind of running parallel right now with US 2, which is one of the bigger roads, albeit not always the best when it comes to passing, but still a very heavily traveled road. It actually takes you up to Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and then it'll take you up to Grand Forks, North Dakota, if you stay on it long enough. Though most people,
yeah, to me, and they're showing here that this tornado warning that we're just taking a look at here is an observed tornado on the grounds. And the confirmed tornado is located over Cuyuna, if I said that right, or 6 miles northeast of Brainerd, moving southeast at 55 miles per hour. So confirmed tornado on the ground.
Yep. So here's Brainerd right here. And then here's Breezy Point, 50 Lakes. So again, that hail is running on the northern portion right here of that tornado warning. And here's that rotation right there. Again, they are calling it as observed. So if we're going to go ahead and point it out to about right here, and we're going to take it down straight to the southeast at about, like I said, we'll do 55 miles an hour. That's the highway speed anyway, for the most part. Although I think it goes up to 60, though, for a little in some areas. But regardless, that's going to be putting it in Deerwood here in about 20 minutes, going a little bit closer. Cuyuna in about 15, Crosby about 15, Aiken about 25 minutes, and we'll see exactly, how this thing continues to track there. Again, it's observed tornado. We don't have much more detail about it at the moment as to whether or not, but I would imagine, though, just based on the way things, it might not necessarily be an overly strong one, but still a tornado on the ground nonetheless. Now, here comes the fun part around this area, is trying to determine its intensity, since there's so little for it to hit sometimes. That makes surveying very, very interesting. So again, that is an observed tornado on the ground. Again, this will be coming up on Mission here. Will be coming up on Mission here pretty much within the next minute or two. And then we'll be watching it going towards 210 here. And again, that'll be maybe within the next 20 minutes, potentially even a little bit less here. So it becomes a little bit more of we'll probably start seeing a bit more of it here. I'm imagining if this thing holds out here, a little bit better visualization, as this is somewhat of but again, still very wooded. So let's see here on that confirmation here. Emergency management reported a rotating wall cloud near Cross Lake, and there is a tornado that is on the ground. So again, this storm, like I said, of all the storms that we've been watching, this one, like I said, has had the best structure so far this afternoon for producing tornadoes. Obviously, right now, at least according to what we have, it is producing a tornado. Much more beyond that, a little bit uncertain, but again, we tracked it going up on Deerwood here probably in about the next 20 minutes. That'll also be coming up on 210 in general, probably here in about the next 20 minutes. Taking a look back here at our storm, also north of Balsam here. Well, actually, again, the rotation now appears it's probably right over Balsam. We'll keep an eye on this guy, too. Again, no tornado warning with that. It does have, like I said, a little bit of a notch with it. Still looks like it might need a little bit more organization in the lower levels here, but we'll see exactly what they do with that. Given the environment, it's entirely possible that we could maybe see, the pretty noticeable lowering here. As I said, over the past few scans, this guy has gotten itself a little bit better organized here, so we'll see if that continues. Might help that storm. We'll see if it continues, I guess. It would automatically help the storm, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But you get the idea. So keep an eye on this guy. And again, that one could be tracking towards the Cloquet area. Places of Carleton County here, maybe in the next 40 minutes, depending upon how this thing tracks and depending upon whether or not that rotation holds, if it, even really kind of materializes the lower levels in general. But again, obviously our big guy right now is this guy coming up on Mission, Kiona, and then eventually Crosby and the Deerwood area here, right up on Highway 210. Could be pretty interesting to see what goes on with this. But so right now, still being labeled as an observed tornado. Again, emergency management, and I guess have observed it here. I'm trying to see on my end if there's any more information with it here. I've gotten one of some minor wind damage, but again, that could just be outflow with the storm there. So, and again, that was very, very minor wind damage here. I'm also trying to look for some hail reports. About 1.5 inches, up to about 2-inch size hail coming through on Emping. Nothing official yet, but again, this guy is certainly producing some pretty decent hail with it too. So again, not only that little trail on the ground that we're assuming is probably still on the ground at the moment. We haven't seen anything. We haven't been told anything otherwise. Again, radar scan, a little bit tricky to tell because we are so far away from the radar at this point. There's just really no way around that. But again, just from what we see here, still see that defined hook right here coming right up on Mission, Walford, Guyana, Crosby, and then eventually Deerwood here. So I think places like Riverton at the moment might end up being just a little bit south of it, but we'll see exactly how this thing tracks. Storm's still looking pretty decent, though. We'll see how this thing holds up. And again, really keeping an eye on this guy south of Ballston here. This is certainly starting to tighten up a bit more here. So again, we're looking south of the Savannah State Park. This will be coming up on probably north of Tamarack, but it could be coming up on Croswell. That's Highway 210. We're talking about the extreme northwestern part here of Carleton County. So again, keep an eye on this guy right here because that could maybe be bringing it into, like I said, we'll have to keep an eye exactly how this thing tracks. Looks like we got a brand new tornado warning too. Looks like they went ahead and they've adjusted that warning. Michael, it says the new tornado warning that is in effect for this storm, it's back to radar indicated. But they have upped the hail with it to 2.5-inch size hail. That's some big hail, especially for up around these areas. That is something we have been seeing a lot, Michael, this season, is large hail. With almost all these storm events we've done a live stream with have been bringing large hail.
Yeah, it really has. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So it looks like for now, the old tornado warning is going to expire in about 4 minutes. So I guess for the next few minutes, we'll still say it's on the ground. But the new warning, they put it back to radar indicated. So my guess is here is then again, I haven't seen anything on my end yet of any additional information. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, probably just a little short-lived, little short-lived one. Kind of what we're expecting. I don't think we're necessarily expecting much in the way of long track type of tornadoes today. But when you're dealing with these hail producers and given the atmosphere, some of these storms have become supercellular. And, in the, and under the right conditions, they can get that low-level rotation to mix down a little bit more here. So, still really keep an eye on this guy south here, Balsam. Like I said, we'll see what it does. It's right on the kind of like right on the edge here. We'll see what this recent scan has here. But either way, like I said, probably about at least 1 to maybe 1.5-inch hail with this storm too. That hail also going to be coming up here in the northwestern Carleton County here in just a moment. So brand new severe thunderstorm warning is going to be issued for that storm. It's still tornado possible. 2-inch size hail with 70-mile-an-hour winds possible with that storm. Given the hail reports that we've seen today, and there is the brand new tornado warning that is in effect now for that storm. That is going to be for Wright, Cromwell, 210 Highway 210, and it is going to include looks like parts of Moose Lake, but it does not look like. It looks like they've made an attempt to keep it off of I-35 right now. Again, I-35, a major interstate there. it looks like that warning is going to be just right at the edge of I-35, probably to keep alerts from going off on the phones, I'm betting, at least at the moment. But we'll see if that gets extended. But that in mind, there we go. Like I said, a little bit of rotation here. It's looking a little bit better. We did see kind of a little bit of a tightening up about 1 or 2 scans ago. It's still looking like it's there. It's actually kind of it's become a little bit more visually apparent here on this. Again, at the moment, nothing overly strong, but based on how it's kind of upticked a little bit here, it could maybe begin to do so again. So we'll see exactly how this guy cycles. But yes, that is a brand new Trento warning that is in effect, that is going to be for the next 30 minutes. It will take it all the way to Barnum, as well as places just west of I-35, pretty much right on I-35, honestly. We'll track this thing down to the south here. Or to the southeast here. We'll go ahead and put a track on it. It is going to be bringing it, like I said, pretty much right over the Cromwell area here. Again, this is just radar indicated, but Cromwell here in about the next 10 minutes. Barnum here in about maybe the next 25 to 30 minutes. Atkinson about 30 minutes too, depending upon how exactly this thing tracks. Again, that's that storm that we were taking a look at just a little bit ago, or that we have been kind of talking a little bit about. So looks like it has kind of upticked just enough. Still looking at our big guy back here. This is still radar indicated. We'll see here what they do with the next warning, but I'll tell you what, it looks pretty decent here still on the radar imagery. Again, I haven't seen, though, any new reports, nothing coming through Spotter Network or anything along those lines. That says it is still on the ground, but this storm certainly is still at least rotating a little bit. Well, it is rotating at the lower levels. Probably a little bit of a wall cloud, wouldn't be surprised there. But let's see here, given the fact, well, it might be getting a little tricky to see in some spots, but just a very heavily wooded area, Michael. Makes it, like I said, it really makes it difficult for observing. And believe me, I have tried around this area. There are some spots, but they are few and far in between. And I mean, it's just so wooded up here that really difficult to tell.
Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see as it gets closer to the road there if we get some more reports there. And if you see, Timmy, on the sharing screen side, I do have a live cam of the Duluth area. And you know this area better than I do. I think are we facing west here?
Yes. Yeah, we are looking. That big ridge right there, that's Minnesota. There's the bay. And then I believe this is going to be on the Wisconsin side, I bet you. But yeah, it's looking west.
Okay. So yeah, we've got a live camera here. I'll monitor that as the storms get closer to the Duluth area, and hopefully we can see the cloud buildup and so forth.
Yeah, that's a good camera shot there. That, like I said, that is it says it right there at the bottom. That's Connors Point. And so yeah, it's that's actually kind of a good shot. And I'll tell you what, those antennas that you see there, way at the right of your screen. You can see those things for miles. I mean, we're talking like miles. It's actually kind of ridiculous on how far you can see those things. Just saying. That's actually the I-35 bridge there. So yeah, really, that's actually a really good camera shot. Where's that from? That's not MDOT, is it?
DuluthHarborCam.com.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I was like, that looks too live to be an MDOT cam.
Right? Yep. Yeah,
it's not pointed at a road either.
You can see some sky here.
I thought I was sitting there going it's like did the Minnesota Department of Transportation hear us? Did they fix it? Oh no, guess not. Anyways. So yeah, continuing to look at the storm here on my end, just as we keep that, and there's also going to be, interestingly, courtesy of the Minneapolis weather office here, brand new Trento warning, but this is going to be for the Little Falls area. They are tagging this one as observed, but it's going to be, Sorry, as much as I do want to keep that camera stream, we'll come back to that camera stream. We do have a brand new tornado warning, though, and that's going to be down here. Now, let's double check with this here. This is from the Twin Cities office down in Chanhassen. They have a confirmed tornado that is on the ground near Camp Ripley, moving east about 40 miles an hour from Little Falls. Not the best radar imagery, but that's going to be about right here. Little notch here, moving to the east at about 40 miles an hour. Again, they have this one as observed at the moment. We'll track it out to about 45, give it a little bit of lead time. That will be putting it in around Harding at about 15 minutes, Johnsdale about 30 minutes. Again, somewhat of still a kind of a rural area, again, still, as you know, we've said countless times tonight. We'll keep an eye on that one, but again, that's the only report. From that, again, just brand new tornado warning popped up here. Again, that's going to be for Belle Prairie area going over towards Platte. Observed tornado there, but we don't have much more information on it about that. Yeah, right at the edge, like I said, of all the radar coverages here. See how our guys do it. Ooh. This one's really kind of getting a good shape on it here. So we're looking at the one that is pretty much passing right to the north here of Wright, coming right up on Cromwell. It looks really good on the reflectivity. You can see that nice little hook there, kind of wrapped around. You can see some of that. I've just kind of pulled in some of that precipitation here. Trying to flip it over here to the velocity. Ooh, look at that, Michael.
Oh, my.
That's a pretty one. That's going to be coming right over Cromwell here in about the next couple of minutes, so definitely on that one. And then looks like it's been tracking a little bit more easterly. So I'm wondering if they might adjust that tornado warning just a little bit here. But what I want to see is see how this thing has, kind of really gotten itself organized. See it right there. We started noticing that little hook. There it is, a little downdraft, and you can start seeing it kind of picking itself up here a little bit. So this is still going to be radar indicated here, but I will say it does look really good here on both the reflectivity and the velocity. Might not be the tightest couplet at the moment, but certainly still one that, keep an eye on it here very carefully, or very closely, I guess I should say. Eventually, this thing could be tracking towards I-35. Now, here's the catch. That's pending this thing holds up in its current state. We'll have to see exactly how it's going to track to. Again, it looks like the storm has kind of had a little bit more of an easterly than southeasterly track. It will probably be coming up on Cromwell or just very close to Cromwell here. Like I said, if in the next couple of minutes, we certainly have, again, a pretty defined area of low-level rotation here with the storm. I'm just trying to see if there's anything on my end, and apparently it's raining there. But that much we know. Also, probably a little bit of hail with this. Maybe not quite as large of hail as what we're seeing down with that storm north of Brainerd, but still some nonetheless. We'll keep an eye on this. Like I said, that inflow might be a little bit clogged with rain, but it might not be much to deter that storm. We'll keep an eye. This is still radar indicated, though. Tornado warning. Yeah. And that will be putting it up here. Like I said, we'll see how this thing tracks. It'll be crossing to 210 here in just probably the next few minutes or so. Right now, it looks like it'll be fixing its way to Cromwell. Is probably where it might try to cross over. We'll see how much further to the southeast this thing takes here. But Atkinson, Matoa, honestly, even Cloquet at the moment, we'll probably be passing it in that area. See exactly how that thing, Michael, does Duluth Harbor Cam happen to have a shot way away from the harbor?
No, not yet. With this, but we do have a confirmed tornado for the Morrison County tornado. So a tornado has been observed by weather spotters on the storm here. So the Morrison County, so the Freedom, Lastrup, Hillman, there it is.
Ooh. Was there any video of it, Michael?
Yes.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Really? That's pretty cool. Is that the one, or is that the one for which one is that? Is that the big one that we were looking at?
It's not saying.
Well, that's
That's
not helpful. I think based on that radar image, taking a look at that radar image.
Yeah, Crosby one. Yes.
Oh, the Crosby one. Okay. Yeah. So that was that one that we were taking a look at. That's a pretty decent looking tornado.
Yeah.
That's a pretty decent looking little tornado there. And as you can see, it is just cloudy and kind of wet around Duluth. Honestly, it's been like that most of the day. But yeah, so that video that you saw, or that picture that Michael was showing you, was of this storm, which does appear to have kind of lost some of its organization. Now, earlier when it was up around the 50 Lakes area, it did look pretty decent there for a little bit. But it does look like that might have gone down a little bit. It looks like there's some rain out ahead of it that might be interfering enough with it. Now it might be picking up some of that a little bit more rain-cooled air. The rotation, though, is still nonetheless there. Oh, I just realized I don't have my radar on. Let me go ahead and put my radar back up. That would probably help. Here I am pointing at things, Michael, and no one knows what in the world I'm talking about. So there's still a little bit of rotation with this storm, but it does not look to be quite as organized as it was a little bit ago. But still worth keeping an eye on. But we got this stuff right here that might be interfering with it. Nonetheless, going to be passing pretty much right near Deerwood, probably passing somewhere between Aiken and Deerwood. That rotation aspect of it. Looks like Crosby may end up just staying just a little bit away from it, but not by much. Again, that is this time there's still radar indicating it, but still keeping that 2.5 inch size hail with it. We're taking a look at this other guy here coming right up on Cromwell. Let's take a look here. I want to see if got any debris signature. At the moment, we do not. But my guess here is that this thing, there's certainly probably a lowering there. If you're able to see it, there's probably a decent little wall cloud there. How rapidly it's rotating, a little uncertain, but again, this is a kind of a treat area here. We're looking, this image that you see right here is what's known as a correlation coefficient, courtesy of dual pol. This tells us basically radar beam, one beam goes like this, one beam goes like that, so it's able to kind of 3D measure the objects that it's detecting. Now, if it's raindrops all tend to be the same size, so there's a high correlation. But now let's say we have a tornado on the ground picking up debris. Well, it has a lower correlation, so we're looking for drop-offs in that correlation with that image there. And Michael, is that the one? Is that the Crosby one from earlier? I can't hear you, Michael.
Hey, sorry, I was on mute and I was talking to myself.
I was going to say, I was like, oh no, am I having problems?
No, that's me. Yes. No, I don't know exactly where this is, but you see the radar image in the corner of the screen there shows us the Crosby storm. So I assume that's what they're following here. And you can definitely see the makeout of what looks to be a tornado in the center of the screen.
Yeah. How recent is that? Was that?
Yeah. That was 7:55 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
So 2 minutes ago.
Interesting. So that would have been this one. Well, I'm wondering if that is when exactly that image was. That might have been when that image was posted.
Actually, I'm going to say it's a 6:54 here, Central Time.
Well, it certainly still got that low level rotation then with it. Really quickly, while we have that, the weather office has made it a little bit more interesting for us. They have upgraded part of that severe thunderstorm watch into a tornado watch, and that is going to include Carleton County. There you go, right there. It's going to include Moose Lake and Carleton County. It's going to include pretty much right down I-35 to the northern suburbs there of Minneapolis. Pretty interesting there, but yeah, they just upgraded a couple trails possible based on what we've been seeing. The more you know. That's pretty cool. So when we go back to that storm that Michael was showing here, we were just talking about the velocities here with it, and again, as we mentioned, there it would be right here. If there is still a tornado on the ground, it's going to be right, looks like in that little notch, and that would put it right about here. So there's a little bit of a couplet there. You kind of still see a signature on it here. So if this thing is still on the ground, that's where it would be. Again, looks like it's going to be passing right in between Aiken and Deerwood. That's where it's looking like it's going to cross 210 there. Probably, like I said, within the next radar scan or two. So that right there, again, this is officially still radar indicated, depending upon the age of that picture, which, but there's at least a funnel cloud with this thing. I'm trying to see here. Give me a quick second on my end. Let's take a look here. On my end, Michael, I haven't seen any additional reports from that Crosby storm, but if that thing still does have a trail or at least a pretty decent sized funnel cloud on the ground, that's where it would be. Right in that area, and again, tracking down to the south and to the east here. So probably going to be crossing right over 210 there between Deerwood and Aiken. Also, we had this tornado warning that earlier was observed. I haven't heard anything new with that storm yet. But then we have our guy up here around the Cromwell area. Now, I will say, unfortunately, for this storm, it's not looking quite as upticked, organized. There we go, not uptick. Organized, at least in the low-level rotation as it was a little bit ago. Here's still that hook feature, and it's, like I said, literally right over Cromwell at the moment. And you can see right there is what we're looking at. I have not seen a debris signature or anything with this. It was looking really good a couple of scans ago. Like I said, it does appear with this storm that there's a little bit of rain that may have clogged the inflow right here. So that may have something to do with that, decrease in low-level rotation that we've seen. But if this is able to clear itself back out, we could maybe try cycling again. Nonetheless, it's pretty much right over Cromwell, the low-level rotation, at least that we're watching with this storm. Nothing reported on the ground at this time. I haven't seen anything that would say there is something on the ground. Again, haven't seen any debris signatures or anything along those lines. And again, with this scan right here in particular, it appears that it really has kind of dropped down just a bit, but given the environment and the fact that, it's not like it just spun up out of nowhere. I mean, it kind of gradually got itself together. So it may try to cycle yet again. But nonetheless, at the moment, it looks like it could be staying away from Moose Lake. But that could then bring it closer towards Atkinson, Mahatoa, and maybe Barnum. We'll see exactly what this thing does here. But I will say over the past few scans, it does appear that it has taken a little bit of an easterly track. If we were to kind of pinpoint that there, you can see it started right here. And it kind of dropped a little bit with a slight easterly component. So it dropped just a little bit, kind of like that. So that was the path it took. So we'll see here what this thing is going to do. But at the moment, Michael, I would say there might not be anything imminent with this, or at least as promising looking with this storm as it was just a little bit ago. We are now going back to that
very end of that tornado warning there, the Barnum area.
Yeah.
Yep. Look at that there. So I do have the that camera up, the traffic cam. It's a still camera. With that,
right.
Just to let you know, I'll be monitoring this here as that storm gets a little bit closer too.
Woo! There's also a new tornado warning that's up for around the St. Joseph area. We'll come back to that one in a moment. I do want to go up to this guy here, though. This is coming right up on the Aiken area. So that was that video, Michael. You show that picture And I said, the thing was still on the ground. It looks like now it is observed. So, the moment that's what the warning has been upgraded to, is observed. So it looks like whatever had happened there was enough to kind of trigger that. So they're still treating this as observed. Now, where is it going to be passing? At the moment, it looks like it's going to be staying barely south of Aiken. But Aiken is likely seeing some hail right now. Based on some of these radar returns. Again, not the best visual area, though. A lot of trees up around here. So Aiken getting quite a bit of hail. It looks like the rotation aspect is going to be crossing 210 just to the southwest of Aiken, not by much. But it also looks like it'll be clearing, passing just to the northeast of Deerwood here. So crossing there, and then if this thing stays on the ground, be making its way to 169 here for the next few moments.
Yeah, so as we're taking a look at this here, Timmy, we've got 4 tornado warnings right now around the Minneapolis and the Minnesota area here that we're taking a look at, and 2 of them are observed tornadoes. At the last check here, 2 of them were observed tornadoes. Tornadoes on the ground. So 4 tornado warnings there. And for those listening, if you're in the area, if you know anybody in the area, or just have general questions, don't hesitate to send us questions in the chat, and we can pull that up here and get you some answers as we go through this. But 4 tornado warnings, Timmy, with this here. What are you seeing? What's I don't want to put you on the spot here, but is there one that looks more dangerous than the others?
If we were going based off history, it would be that Crosby storm, just based on the pictures that we've seen and the fact that we have seen that thing produce maybe at least one other tornado a little bit further to the northwest. I would have said earlier that this Cromwell storm, but it really just kind of looks like it's something clogged the inflow here and it's kind of gone down. So I would say it's between the Crosby storm, and then I will say this guy down around St. Joseph, St. Cloud area, at least on the scan here, a little bit of a notch there. But unfortunately for this one, we're just not the best radar coverage at the moment. But this one could also maybe be one to watch just a little bit here. So I'd say right now it's between the Crosby one and then this guy around the St. Joseph area. St. Cloud. Yeah. Why? What's yours?
There we go. With that. So, just watching you this area a lot better than I do. And, you're in that area and you're in the Duluth area there. For those are in the Duluth area, Timmy, any of these storms heading that direction, what's it look like for Duluth here in the next hour or two?
Well, we've been hearing some rumbles or 2 of thunder across here. As a matter of fact, I've been hearing some out my window. Probably at least some rain, some rumbles of thunder. I think at the moment, though, for Duluth, it looks like, we'll go ahead and turn off the so here's Duluth right here. Again, here's Superior. I'm on the Wisconsin side. So it's kind of funny. The storms that were kind of tracking towards Duluth just really fell apart for some reason. There's still additional storm activity, though, all up across the Arrowhead. Again, those scattered storms just kind of tracking their way to the east. Some of these guys still capable of producing at least 1-inch size hail. We've had a few higher amounts than 2. Keep an eye on this little guy just for the heck of it. We'll see what this section here of that storm does. But all this generally out in the rural areas. Again, most of the activity, it's still storming a little bit in Virginia, but then that's going to move out. And I think that might be it for Virginia. But then we kind of, once again, turn our attention to Highway 61 in a little bit here. For Duluth itself, right now, just kind of a steady rain of some rumbles or 2 of thunder. There is a pocket around the Grand Lake area that will probably try to track southeast, maybe going towards Proctor. Nothing severe with that. Maybe some very small hail. That tornado warning that was in effect for the Cromwell area was this storm right here. It does not look as structured as it did about 20 minutes or so ago. Nonetheless, tornado warning is still in effect for another couple of minutes there, but my guess is they might not extend it, at least based on how it looks right now on the radar. But certainly heavy rain pretty much right over the Highway 210 there, and then will try to drop its way south. So it'll be maybe some slow going for a little bit right here between Cloquet and Moose Lake on I-35 there. Again, very heavily trafficked area, especially once you come up off the ridge. People like to start, gaining some speed because it's pretty slow going, especially if you're a truck up that ridge. So again, kind of a heavily, already kind of a heavily, traveled area there. So just some heavy rain, some hail there. Obviously, we have this guy, again, Aitkin area. That's the one we've been really kind of focusing in on, as well as this guy now north of the Minneapolis metro. But overall, again, like I said, for the most part, north of Duluth, scattered storms, a little bit of rain, if you even get that. Like I said, we've seen a complete collapse of the storms just immediately north of Duluth, so it's just kind of a steady rain. Rumbles of thunder, though, but it looks like at the moment the severe storms are across the Arrowhead heading eastwards, mainly just hail with those storms, though, again, I want to keep a little bit of an eye on that. And then the tornadic storms are all southwest of Duluth, mainly, kind of right along the I-35 corridor, smaller towns there in between Minneapolis and Duluth. So that's kind of where the tornadic activity has been, for the most part, save for that one storm earlier up in the Arrowhead. But pretty active. We've had at least 2 confirmed tornadoes. I'm imagining that this storm right here, it dropped that one tornado up around 50 Lakes. My guess is that probably went away for a little bit, and now it's back on the ground. Again, south of Aiken, it looks like it is cleared Aiken, but now comes the question, does it come up on Glen and Weatherford a little bit further to the southeast here? We'll see exactly how this thing's going to track, but if it's there it is. If it's still on the ground. Again, just south of Aiken, it just kind of glanced past southwest, not by much, of Aiken. And now it's kind of making its way towards Glen. It's crossed I-60, or it's crossed 169. Now we'll see if it heads its way to the state forest here, if this storm is able to hold up.
Yeah, it'll be interesting here, Timmy, because of the out of those 4 tornado warnings right now, the top 3, as far as north to south, the top 3 there, they're going to expire here within the next few minutes. So it'll be interesting to see what the National Weather Service does, kind of give us a little bit of an insight to exactly what's going on, because obviously we're not getting, very many reports here to exactly what's going on. And so we'll get a good update here to see what happens with these warnings, if they're extended or if they're allowed to expire.
My guess is that this the Moose Lake one will probably be allowed to expire. You and I both were looking at it. I mean, it looked really good, but now it's just kind of completely collapsed. My guess is this one's going to be allowed. This tornado warning, the Carleton County one, will be allowed to expire. The question then becomes this one. Now, ultimately, what's probably going to happen later on here is these guys might either kind of run into each other and form kind of a weird mesh here of storms, thus losing some of their tornadic probabilities. But at the moment, though, they're still somewhat isolated of each other, which is why we're seeing a little bit of that tornado potential. Now, really, this, like I said, it's kind of the strong one. This one down here, the Platte area, that one is still being labeled as observed. However, we haven't really got any information on that, and it's not the most impressive looking on the radar. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that warning. This one down here, again, still radar indicated. Not the best radar scan here, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen with this. I'd give this one a couple more radar scans too. But yeah, my guess is the Carleton County one will probably be canceled and not reissued, at least for the time being.
Yeah, so far no word from the National Weather Service. So
no, and the thing is that, as I've said, multiple times, especially, it's a bit different in the southern part of the state where it's a bit more flat and more farmland-like. Same thing in the far western part, but this part, it's very, very wooded. I mean, it's it's very difficult to see if there really is anything without kind of being at the right spot. Not only that, but that tends to be kind of the main thing. They have extended the tornado warning, by the way, not for the Carlton County one, but for the main one that we've been watching. But they have put it as radar indicated again. So, interesting kind of situation. This might be one of those storms where it just cycles just enough. It drops tornado for a few miles, then it lifts it back up. But I will say, though, it still has a pretty decent signature on the velocity, albeit not the strongest. But yes, they have extended a tornado warning. It's a bit more to the east now. It does include Malmo as well as Weatherford, Glen. Again, the rotation itself is now past Highway 169. Is now east of that. The storm is moving to the east-southeast there. So eventually, we'll have to keep an eye as this thing comes up on Highway 27. But that might not be for a little bit. Again, here's the rotation that we're watching. And again, they have extended and reissued the tornado warning. But this time, though, the new tornado warning is radar indicated, so not observed. So now we're kind of back in that situation we were back in about 20 or so minutes ago, where the original warning hasn't observed. The extension is only radar indicated. Either way, it's still producing some hail. So it may have lifted again. This might be one of those storms. This is a good example of what we mean by cycling. Sometimes you get these storms that they cycle and they'll go back and forth, between, dropping, and then it weakens a bit and then it drops something else as it, it's, and I think based on the environment that we're seeing today, that puts it right at that threshold for wall cloud, tornado, back to wall cloud, tornado, back to wall, you know what I mean? So I think because we're right at kind of the way the conditions are right now, I think that's just why we're seeing kind of skipping a little bit here. And that might be the situation with this storm. We won't know until the morning, but whether it's been one tornado or two individual tornadoes, I'm thinking it was probably two. Now it might have lifted back up, but that rotation's still there, and it could maybe recycle itself again. As I mentioned, the new tornado warning, it is still radar indicated. Michael, if you see anything, let us know about that. But
I guess Timmy, I'm going to switch with you real quick. I just want to show you something kind of out of nowhere here. Nebraska, Iowa state line here. I'm going to zoom in on this bad boy. Look at this. We're starting to get some rotation here.
Hey! Look at that.
Just north of Decatur. And
represent. All right.
Here, so, right over Decatur. And I even got a picture for you from Cameron Nixon on X here. So that's what we're looking at. Possible tornado there in the Decatur area. Oops, I guess it would help if I shared it. Possible tornado here. This is from Cameron Nixon in that Decatur
look at
area.
That.
So that's one storm. I can give you some information on that. Thank you, Nebraska.
I guess that's a bit north of where Kenny is.
Yes, just a little bit.
Wow,
north.
Yeah, look at that.
There. So pretty
interesting.
Nice structure there, the supercell, huh?
That's funny how that happens sometimes, I mean, as long as you got the right conditions, it's always impressive sometimes what triggers these little guys.
Yeah, 3-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds.
That's kind of duck and cover at the moment.
Possible tornado.
Hey, possible tornado. Wow, that's a nice looking storm. Yeah, it's kind of small too, but that's a nice looking storm.
Yeah, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit again, just kind of take a look. There's not much going on.
No, that is really now that is not a discrete, but that is an isolated supercell.
Oh yeah, that is definitely
by itself.
Yeah, so I'll keep watching it here, and obviously we got a chaser on this, with the picture.
Yeah, it's probably some. Yeah. It's probably one of those deals with the guy was probably out getting gas, and he's like, "Oh, hey, look at that!
Look at that!" So that's a really cool picture. Really cool.
That is a really cool picture, actually.
On the side.
that is really cool. You can see the inflow and everything. Yeah, that honestly, that looks like it is a tornado. I mean, there's debris coming up.
Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like. So we'll see. No tornado warning on this storm. Oh, I spoke too soon. There it is.
Hey, what? You can pull it up on your radar. I got
it. Look at this. There we go. Observed tornado.
I got to do something.
We just saw that there. For Mota County, Burke County, Thurston County till 7:45. So confirmed tornado located near Decatur, 18 miles north of Tecuma, moving south of 25 miles per hour. So a slow mover there. Hail 3 inches in diameter, but confirmed tornado on this supercell that's popped up here on the Nebraska-Iowa state line.
Beautiful. That's crazy.
Beautiful. Yeah.
It's all by itself, doing little tornado things.
Let me check here and see if we got
sorry, I'm still here. I just had to shut my camera off for a quick minute.
You're good. You're good.
I'm just looking at that.
No. Hey, I do have another picture here. This is from Shane Ornelas. With some picture there of some damage near Crosby, Minnesota.
All right. Well, that lines up with what we were seeing. So, little tree damage there. I'm trying to see that RV in the background there. I mean, it is tourist season up around this area, so the RV looks like it has some damage, but I can't tell from this angle or from that.
Yeah, it looks like it's upside down.
Is it?
Yep. Unless the
the wheels are the wheels are on top. Yeah. Well, there's your problem. That's why it ain't moving. Got your wheels on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's that's and we've talked about before, though, RVs and motorhome are not, those tend to move pretty easily with even some of the weaker tornadoes. Little tree damage there. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. And that was at they said 7:04 Central Time. So that was recently, that picture. Without seeing more, it'd be interesting. I want to know if we get some more pictures from there.
Yeah, I'll keep looking here and let you know.
Because unfortunately, from a survey perspective, if that's the only damage, probably going to end up being an EF1.
Mm-hmm.
It did look a little bit stronger than that, though. It didn't look, from the videos and pictures that, radar images we were seeing, it didn't look like it was a massive tornado, but my guess is it might be.
Yeah, I'm going to move the radar back and see if we can't kind of see it there. So it was right at the Crinker Lake area. Found it. There it is. So yeah, let me mess with this on my radar here for a second, Timmy, and then I'll switch back over to it if I find it.
At the moment, so that tornado that you saw there, the damage pictures. This is from this storm. Now that was back when this storm was over the next county. It's now way south. It's now southeast of Aitkin, kind of over again. Still some of these rural areas. You get these small little communities in there. The rotation, I will say, low level is still there. They're still tagging this, though, as radar indicated. This storm does have a little bit of a history, as we saw, producing not just maybe 2 tornadoes, one earlier and then the one we had just a little bit ago. That being said, at the moment, nothing officially on the ground, but it does at least still have some indication that there, is still some decent low-level rotation going on. Whether there's something on the ground or not is a bit uncertain, but that's coming right up on Glenn here pretty much in the next minute or so, if even that. So definitely, passing there. And then we're going to be watching as it makes its way towards Highway 27 in probably the next few minutes here too. So these storms are moving a little bit. But yeah, so that's that storm. Now this is, like I said, been the strongest one that we've been watching. We started this live talking about this storm, and we still find ourselves talking about this storm here. So kind of been the it's been kind of the star of the show, I guess. You could say here. From what we were seeing on the radar, it probably wasn't an overly strong Trino, but it was still a Trino nonetheless. Producing a little bit of damage there. That was, again, this would have been from around this area. So we were watching it again. It looked like it might have dropped one here, and then potentially, the second one right around here. Now, whether that was two different Trinos, or whether it was one Trino, not quite sure, because the radar signatures kind of show that it might have been two different Trinos from the same storm, though. Regardless, this storm does have a history. It is cycling a little bit here. It still does have some signatures of some low-level rotation at the moment, but officially it's just being labeled as radar indicated. They're still keeping that 2.5-inch size hail, though, tag on it. What's interesting, though, is we haven't gotten any hail reports yet. And the other Trino warnings have also been canceled, Michael, by the way. So this is the only Trino warning that we have at the moment. If I'm not mistaken, this is the only that's the only Trino warning we have at the moment is this guy. Now, for those of you, like I said, who might just be tuning in, part of the Severe Thunderstorm Watch was upgraded to a Trino Watch, and that was for the North Branch all the way up to Carleton County. That's where we've been seeing most of this somewhat tornadic activity, albeit we did have one little lone kind of supercell across the Arrowhead earlier. But at the moment, a lot of it has been kind of concentrated down around this part here, around Little Falls, Baxter, Brainerd, all those little towns here. This storm was Trino warned earlier, but in a sense kind of, really lost that rotation. A couple past scan or two, it looked like it was maybe trying to revamp itself a little bit, but man, it's still kind of struggling here a little bit. Severe thunderstorm warning on that, being warned for about 1.5-inch size hail. Hermantown going right over the radar site now. A little storm there, nothing severe with that at the moment. We'll keep an eye on that. Actually, that'll be passing over me here in a couple of minutes, so I may go outside and take a peek at it, Michael. But in a few moments. But pretty interesting. But this, like I said, has been our strongest storm of the night. It has been this guy right here, which is still showing at least some signs of some pretty decent low-level rotation.
Yeah, that's true. And Timmy, I'm going to switch back over to
Island. Oh yeah, that guy.
The Decatur one. Yeah, so still 2 tornado warnings. We still have some pretty good rotation here that's being noted by some people in the area, in the Decatur area. So a very slow-moving storm. So it looks like it hasn't moved much since we last checked in on this, but it's moving about 25 miles per hour to the south and east. So slow mover here, but it looks that structure still looks amazing. Definitely see the rotation there of that supercell.
That's a good looking storm there. To be honest, I'm looking at it on my end too. That thing's cracking me up. It's all by itself. And yeah, look at that. Now take a look at this though. Take a look. So you look at that radar image. Notice that storm on the south. See how it looks like some of its outflow. You'll see towards the end, you see a little bit sticking out there. Uh-huh. Now it looks like that outflow passed right over Decatur. You don't got don't zoom out. Yeah, right there. See, and look, I'm wondering if that might have interfered. We'll see what I'm curious as to what that's going to do. If that's going to either help it or hurt it. See that little inflow right there, just south of Decatur. So that storm to the south as it passes its way through. There's also another tornado warning up around the Thief River Falls area. We'll come back to that one here in a moment. But we do have a damage report coming to us from around Wright. About a tree down, which lines up when we were looking at that rotation earlier from that one storm that no longer has it. But that'll be around the Tamarack Wright area. Let's see here. I got nothing new. Really, like I said, the still radar indicated that one storm. Yeah, that I'm really so really curious as to that out. What we'll see. Wow, I can't talk all of a sudden. I'm curious as to if that thing's going to affect it at all. I mean, it might not. Yeah, that storm's just kind of cracking me up. I don't know why. It's kind of funny. It's all by itself there. Look at that. And it's moving southeast too, which
Yep. Yep.
I mean, not unusual. It's not the normal, of course, but there have been plenty of strong tornadoes that have. And there's your hail.
Oh yeah, nice looking hail there. So just getting our bearings.
I'll tell you what, that thing is
Omaha.
That thing is so by itself that you have a great view on it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's nothing around.
No,
so we get to Minnesota, and your 2 tornado warnings up there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The other one, that one is new, courtesy of the Grand Forks office. There's your storm. Not the most photogenic, but a little bit of a thing right there. So that's gonna be Foldall, and again, pretty rural up here too. Not as many trees, but still pretty rural up there. As we watch this,
checked in on Duluth there, Timmy. I'll show you that picture here real quick. This is a live.
Hey, it's the bridge.
Point. All right, where you are there. So it's got a little bit more
ominous. Well, at least this bridge still has its lights on it. For some odd reason, the big lights on the other bridge, they keep disappearing. Like wow. I think the snowplow hit one of them last year, and then somehow two more of them have gone away.
Oh.
So I don't know if there's like a lamppost thief. See, I'm from Ohio, and in Ohio, trees go missing. It's really weird. But apparently up here, it's streetlights that just randomly go missing on bridges. So they're still. So you take a look there at the camera. What you're seeing, you see a bird flying there. There's birds here. There's a little bit of rain. Clouds. I can see it. That was just describing the beautiful shot there of the bridge of the interstate, the 535 bridge that you take if you want to go. You take that bridge if you live in the Wisconsin side like I do and want to go straight in the downtown. You can take the other one if you want to go. If you want to start off one exit early. Yeah, both bridges will take you to the exact same spot in about the same amount of time.
And on the far right
one
side,
is just
looking at, is that an old bridge? On the far right side, is that like a little bridge, an old bridge?
Well, it's not a full bridge. You know what? I'm actually not quite sure. I'm certain there's a reason for that, but I've always noticed that thing too, and I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know if it's an old bridge, if it's something that's there. I'm guessing it's maybe the old one but I'm not 100% certain, to be honest with you. I've seen it, but I always keep forgetting to look it up.
Well, just make a mental note that if I was you, I would not drive on that bridge.
Well, yeah, it's kind of, missing a half a bridge. A little hard. Well, but you know what? There's probably someone who's tried.
Oh, yeah.
So, going back to our lunch.
One more thing before you get going on that.
Oh, yeah, please.
Look at this. Severe thunderstorm watch. Severe thunderstorm watch there for that little fella.
Well, then why in the world did they put Fremont in it?
Good question.
If it's just for that storm, what? Oh, whatever. Oh, well, I guess because there's that other storm. Whatever.
Let me go back to
It doesn't matter. That storm is that is still entertaining. That storm is still entertaining.
Maybe they're thinking some more will develop here on the southwest side.
I guess with that, yeah.
I didn't
guess I
have the
could
full
see
radar.
that.
But, you can blame me on that one. But yeah, look at that. That supercell still looking pretty nice. Pretty nice here. Let me see if there's an update on here with that. Nope. So no recent update there. And let me just check one more time before I turn it back over to you and your Minnesota storms.
Well, I'm going to take a look at my storms here in just a moment.
Yeah. Yeah. St. Cloud, Minnesota. I'll show you this picture here. You might go outside and see this. Look at that. From Melanie Metz. St. Cloud, Minnesota.
That's a wall cloud.
That's a nice
one.
I
think. Or is that a shell? Well, you know what? It's hard to tell because they got a fisheye lens on it.
True. True.
So it could be a shelf cloud or it could be a wall cloud.
You saw that one. Hey, look at this one.
Hey, there we go.
That's a good picture.
That's
there.
a bit better.
Sea bagel.
Did you say bagel?
How do you say that?
Oh, Decatur.
Quincy. Was that thunder?
Yeah, that was thunder.
Hey,
the storm is beckoning me. The storm has beckoned me to go outside and take a look at it. So I will be right back, Michael.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. I'll be right here. I'll be right here with all that. And so, yeah, tornado warning here on this storm here. This is north of Omaha. And there was a little tiny severe thunderstorm warning with this, or excuse me, severe thunderstorm watch with this. There's a severe thunderstorm warning with this storm here. Considerable damage, tennis ball size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust with this. So, and then a possible tornado here in the Decatur area. This is a very slow-moving storm. Very slow-moving storm, moving about 25 miles per hour. And so most of the time you're driving faster with this in your car, probably going at least 30 miles per hour. So this is a slow mover with this here. And then the structure of the supercell is just, it's a beautiful structure. It's a beautiful structure with quite a bit of hail here. Let me show you a different image here. So quite a bit of hail with this storm here. Again, you're looking at possibly tennis ball size hail with this storm here. Earlier was classified as apple size with that. So tennis ball size hail with this storm, possible tornado in the Decatur area, and it's just not moving much. It's just not moving much at all here. And then I'm going to zoom back here to Minnesota, where we do have 2 tornado warnings in the Minnesota area at this point. And let me switch the radar back on here. So we've got tornado warning for 9 more minutes with this storm right here. See if we got an update here. So about 7 minutes ago, yeah, we did get an update. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Malmo. We're 13 miles northeast of Mille Lacs Lake, moving east at 35 miles per hour. So possible tornado and tennis ball size hail with this storm. And let's turn on the here and see if we can take a look at the hail. So back to the west of this tornado warning here. There's got some hail there, and then in the far in the far left there, you can see we've got some massive hail here with that. So quite a bit going on here in this area here. And then we've got our tornado warning farther north here. And let's switch the radar back on so we can take a look at what we're looking at here. So just a little tiny guy up there with radar indicated tornado and 3/4 inch hail with the storm here. So possible tornado located about 10 minutes ago. It was over Florian, or 20 miles northwest of Thief River Falls, moving east at 25 miles per hour. So some slow movers here with these tornado warnings. We got some slow movers here with this. And so tornado warning here with this storm here in northwest Minnesota. So 2 tornado warnings here. Let's check, see if we've got any new information on these here. Okay, not seeing anything new here. So this one here in Glen, Minnesota area. Let's take a look here. I'm going to switch over to a possible touchdown here. I'm going to show you what we're looking at here in this area here. So this is coming from Big McCone here. So I'll go ahead and repost this and take a look at it there. So multiple touchdowns, Aiken to Glen, Minnesota. That's still ongoing here. So this is video here of the Glen, Minnesota area from Ben McCone here on X. And you can see possible tornado there in this area. So let's switch back to the radar and see exactly what we're looking at. So here's Glen in the western side here of this tornado warning. I'm going to switch over here to the velocity, and let's switch to the radar here, the closer one here with that. So here's the velocity of what we're taking a look at here with this possible tornado near the Glen area, all right, or has moved through the Glen area on this time here. So we'll keep watching and seeing exactly what happens with this one. And then again, watching this tornado warning down here in the Omaha, just north of Omaha area. This supercell has popped up here, and it's just absolutely, it's kind of barely moving. You're going to see this here in the last several slides here. It doesn't look like it's moving as much right there. It's just kind of stopped there at the north side of Decatur with that there. So interesting storm here. It's a beautiful storm. It's a nice supercell kind of in its own area right there. And we've seen severe thunderstorm watch pop up around this area for possible tornadoes in this area, but more for the damaging wind gust and large hail that can be produced here. So the Blair area has also seen a severe thunderstorm warning. So 1.5 inch hail here, winds up to 60 miles per hour with those storms here. And the same here, 2.5 inch hail, tennis ball size hail with the storm there going in the Ottawa to Whiting to Decatur area. So in that whole area there, possibly large hail during this. So those are the two main storms that we're watching right now. And again, a third tornado warning to the north and west of Minnesota here. There's the radar. And so we're just watching this little guy right there with that and turn the velocity on. So there's a little bit of rotation there on the west side of the storm with this. And kind of outside that tornado warning is where we're seeing it right there. So once Timmy gets back, we'll be able to dive into a little bit more and take a look and see. Oh, hey, Timmy, I didn't know you were there with that. So yeah, just taking a look at this tornado warning storm here and kind of possibly where the rotation is. And it's looking like with the velocity right now, the rotation is possibly outside of the polygon right now. And I was just mentioning, maybe I'll get your expert analysis on this one here, and maybe it's just I've not put it in motion, so maybe it's just recycled a little bit, and we'll just put it in motion right now as we watch this, and it just seems like it's on the outside of the polygon there, but I'll let you dive into that when you get a chance there. So 3 tornado warnings right now. How'd the look outside when you went outside, Timmy?
Wet. It was good, but it kept the mosquitoes down. So actually, looking at it on my end, what radar? Because for some reason on my end, when I look at it on the radar scan, for some reason yours, mine's moved a bit further.
I'm lagging. I'm going to restart.
Yeah, because that's going to put what's left of that rotation south of Folldell. I don't know. I'd be interested to see if they maybe reissue that warning, but I doubt they will. They have canceled the watch, though, around the Crookston area. Pretty interesting there. And then it looks like our main guy might be starting to take a little bit of a weakening trend now, as this thing kind of starts to form a little bit into a line, or at least a kind of a group of storms. Other than that, that's about all I have to add.
All right. Yeah, I restarted here. I restarted my radar here, and I think it's caught back up for some reason. I guess it lagged a little bit, and not happy about that, but it is what it is. Made me look like a fool.
No, it's all right. It happens. So on my end, while you're getting recalibrated there, the tornado warning has been extended. Again, this is just for our one little supercell that's left. It has been extended, but it's mainly going to be over rural area, more so the Salona State Forest north of McGrath. Now, this thing will be crossing over 27 here probably in just a little bit. This is an observed tornado, though, right about there. If we take a look at it here. So this little notch just to the west there of the highway will be crossing over here probably, like I said, in the next couple, for the next minute or so. This is an observed tornado on the ground. So again, looks like our little friend here is cycled once more. And we'll see what it does here over the next few radar scans. But then I'm wondering if we might start seeing a decrease in the activity here, or at least in the Trantic activity as the sun begins to kind of get lower here. Sun doesn't set till late up here, but at this point, it's kind of the long evening.
Yeah.
So with these,
and you're saying how many people there? So in the National Weather Service post there is said has a population of 320 in that polygon.
That's probably an overestimation. Most of those are probably campers. People out, doing some camp. Though I don't get it. I mean, you literally have to. I have a mosquito suit. You literally have to wear a mosquito suit, Michael. Like, you can't go outside. I don't know why people go camping this time of the year up here, because it's just mosquitoes everywhere. I keep saying it. Mosquitoes everywhere. Oh, mosquitoes everywhere. All right, taking a look here at our scan. So this right here is what we're watching. Again, passing right over 27 here, pretty much right about now or in the next minute. But then it's going over the state forest, pretty rural area. And then we'll see as it tries to track its way south of Moose Lake. This is Pine County, I believe. Yeah, Pine County. Extreme corner there. We'll see what it does then. How is our Nebraska guy doing?
Yeah, I hadn't changed much, but last time I looked, I was on a stalled radar. So I believe the tornado warning has expired on that one. And but yeah, I'm not sure about
outflow. Must have got it.
Yeah. I'll zoom
the outflow on that.
You can see it.
No, the Nebraska one. That's hey
there.
Oh,
I got to reshare my screen here since I restarted.
Yeah, I have to do that every now and then too.
Yep. And share. There she is.
Hey, oh yeah.
So now we got two supercells.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that one down to the south has kind of an interesting structure to it.
Yeah, you can see the storm there, Timmy. It just sucked right into the big supercell. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with it, and probably the next one's going to suck into it too. But that's really got to mess with the that possible tornado rotation there.
Yeah, the inflow got cut off, but I'm wondering if once that merger finishes, if it might try to regroup itself a bit. But now I'm wondering, though, if there might be some rain-cooled air that might make it a bit tricky. It'll be interesting to see. The one down to the south, though, coming up on Blair, that one could be fun to watch, too.
Yeah.
See what that little dude does.
So yeah, we'll keep an eye on these. So we got two storms there just north of Omaha. So we might shoot Kenny a text message here and have him make sure he's looking up north.
Well, I gotta double check and make. Hold on a second. Double check and make sure the Mud Hens are playing in Omaha this week.
Oh yeah.
They're in the 6th inning. Oh no, I'm sorry. They're not playing in Omaha this week. Omaha's playing them. Forgot. Never mind. So I was gonna say the Mud Hens were down there. That would have been fun, but the Mud Hens aren't there, so they're playing in Toledo. Omaha is playing in Toledo this week, so I thought it was the other way around. Given the fact that I watched it yesterday and somehow forgot, but
Yeah.
But good news is, everyone, Toledo is in the lead, 3-1, bottom of the 6th inning. So that's good. We need
Now,
to.
Timmy, I'm going to zoom up here. I'll show you this. I don't know if you've seen it or not, and I haven't said anything on the Exos in Canada, but this guy right there here has produced a tornado. It's got a history of producing a tornado through Canada there, and so it's been fun to watch. And sometimes they look fairly large on the pictures and video I've been seeing. So now it's made its way into North Dakota. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens here with this guy. And so I don't see that it's actual, it's radar indicated right now because I haven't seen any videos or pictures here recently. But something to follow here that this cell here has got a history of producing a tornado as it went, south and west of Winnipeg and now into North Dakota, getting ready to get into Minnesota.
Well, if I remember correctly, so a lot of people don't realize that Canada is also Canada can get them. They get quite a bit in the way of tronic activity actually every year. They do their warnings a little weirdly up in Canada. They kind of still do theirs the old school way. They also have theirs. I'm just checking something on my end because I know the town of Ely is where they had that F5 years ago, and that's the furthest north F5 tornado. On record, it used to be Fargo, and then the Ely one happened. That would actually be just west, so it would be up around this. Whose radar is up? Yours. Let me get mine up here. So this is Manitoba we're looking at here. Good luck trying to figure out their counties. It's kind of a mess. But Ely was right around this area. So this is where they had that F5, I think back in 2007. It was an EF5. The furthest north. And that one was weird too because that one didn't even move. Like that thing literally just sat over the same spot. That was years ago. I just thought it kind of interesting how close those are. Now, anyways, but yeah, apparently this thing has a history of producing a tornado. Yeah, so they Canada does their warnings really weirdly. Like they'll issue it. I mean, for example, this tornado warning is still in effect for another hour and a half. They kind of do theirs somewhat still the old school way. Well, they'll do it kind of by county. But there's, for some odd reason, have really long time frames with them. Probably because their counties are a little bit bigger than ours. But yeah, so there's that storm. Got really off track there. But let's take a look here for our friends up north in Canada. A little fun place to go to if you ever get the chance. Yeah, a little notch right there. Unfortunately, this one also kind of a little bit of away from the radar. And the Winnipeg radar is down, so we had to use one further off. It's got some decent coverage here. There's some low-level rotation, so that seems like a good carryover warning. I'll be interested to see how long it hangs on, but if it would, it'd be going towards Hamilton, passing pretty much right over the Bethgate area and Cavalier. So that'll be interesting to kind of maybe keep a little bit of an eye on. Yeah, and I have noticed that storm has been going for a little bit too. We haven't talked much about it. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so don't get me wrong. Canada gets them. I mean, they'll get some tornadoes every now and then. And well, not every now and then. They get them every year. Not as many as the U.S. does, though. Part of that, I think, is because it's much more less populated up in Canada, especially this part. They get quite a bit. In fact, there've been quite a few outbreaks that have happened in meteorology history where Canada has also gotten in on it. A lot of outbreaks, especially around the upper Midwest. Typically, Canada gets in on some of them. There's actually a really famous picture from I think it was 1947 of a tornado outbreak that happened, and one of the tornadoes went over Windsor, and there's a really cool photograph of the tornado going passing by the Windsor airport. In fact, I think it was during that outbreak that this tornado hit Detroit and knocked out one of their newspapers. And so they had to have one of the Windsor newspapers print Detroit's newspaper for a little bit. If I remember correct, I think that's how that went. I believe it was the Detroit one that got knocked out, and Windsor had to print it for them for a bit. Canada certainly no stranger to tornadoes, but like I said, they do their watches and warnings, and kind of strangely. I guess it works for them, which is what matters. So going back though, oh hey, there we go. What we're looking at there?
This is right next to the Salina State Park, where that tornado warning is, and all the rotation is. So this is a traffic camera right by there. It's just a still photo, so we're not getting much there. There are actually 3 on this pole here. I'll scroll through here, Timmy, because I think you'll like this one. There you go.
Oh yeah, look at the atmospheric setup in that one. I mean, it's just you can tell so much. I mean, it tells me everything I need to know. All right.
There you go. Facing east there. So yeah.
And what do you see? What do you see? Trees. Trees everywhere. Well, you don't see are the mosquitoes.
I'm surprised.
Well, you see, where I'm from in Ohio, I'm from Northwest Ohio, and they cut down trees. If a tree gets wider than 1 inch, they cut it down. There are no trees where I'm from natively.
The sun's coming back out. You're going to see a nice sunset in Duluth.
Ah, crap. I wanted to see lightning. Aw.
Yeah, you're going to clear up here. What's going to be? Man, that's a nice picture. It's real nice.
Yeah, but you know what? Do you know what driving? You ever driven when the sun's setting after it rains?
Oh, yeah.
You don't see anything.
Nope. Not when you're going that direction.
No, not when you're going west. There's nothing to see. I had that happen to me the other day, actually. It rained like right at the worst possible angle. I was driving the worst possible angle, and I couldn't see.
Yeah.
Fortunately, there was somebody in front of me, so I just kind of relied on them. So yeah, you can see that's that in Duluth there, and that's probably going to be about it, honestly, for Duluth. As this activity kind of continues to push its way down to the south, we're not really seeing much redevelopment off to the northwest either, but the activity is still ongoing down across the south of the Duluth area, but north of Minneapolis, so kind of right in between, which is making it rather interesting to track. We still have that one tornado warning that is in effect, and that's the observed tornado warning, and that's around the McGrath area where we saw that beautiful picture of the road in all of its pavement glory, which, to be fair, Michael, that's probably one of the better paved roads in Minnesota, which is why they probably had a camera on it, because they wanted to show that there's at least one part of road that isn't either craters or some other mess. Though, to be fair, though, I will still make the argument. I think Indiana still has worse roads, in terms of construction, at least. But there's not one part of your state that ain't under construction. I have to drive through it. It's the smallest state west. It's the smallest state west of the Appalachians, but it is one of the longest states to drive through in the summertime. It is ridiculous. Dear Indiana.
I got nothing to say.
What?
I got nothing to say.
It's because it's right. It's true. Like you can't go anywhere in Indiana without. Though last week I had to drive back down to Ohio, and I was behind a truck, and it's fun watching him run over those road cones. That's all I have to say.
There you go. Now, in fairness, what interstate were you riding?
Actually, it would have been 30, not 30. Highway 30, US 30.
Okay, so you're cutting through there. Okay.
Yeah, which is the other thing. Why is there no direct road from Fort Wayne to Chicago?
That is true. No direct road.
It's very inconvenient for everybody in Northwest Ohio, Southeast Michigan, and Northern Indiana. It's incredibly inconvenient. Oh, you can take the toll road, though, if you want to pay $85.
The toll road's there. Yep. Or you can drive down the Indy and back up. That's free.
Oh.
Just saying.
Oh, don't even. I-70 is. There is something wrong with I-70 in Indiana. I don't know what it is, but there is something about that interstate where, like, as soon as you cross in, it just goes bad very quickly.
Hey, but now, if you're wanting to go from like Fort Wayne to Texas, we're finishing up the last stretch of I-69 right now. By the end of the year, it's going to be open. So you can run straight through Indiana on I-69.
Because everybody in Fort Wayne is on their way to Texas right now, not Chicago.
There we go.
Never mind Chicago, the big metro that's Chicago. Right there.
You gotta take the turnpike there.
But I don't want to take the turnpike because everyone else is on the turnpike, and it's under construction all the time.
My favorite's when I use somewhere. Hey, what have we got? Tornado warning there. Anything new there?
No. They still have it as an observed, but the signature's really gone down on it. I'm kind of just waiting to see here next couple of scans as it gets closer to I-35 here, whether we're going to be seeing a weakening trend or whether this thing might still have some oomph left to it. But right now it's literally over a state forest. I haven't seen anything new about it. And it does not look that impressive on the radar.
Okay, so while we got some time here, so have you heard of Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis?
Oh, yeah. If you can get to it.
Right? No. But yeah, home of the Indianapolis Colts. Huge stadium there, right? Huge stadium there. And this weekend, they're hosting the U.S. Olympic swim trials in the football stadium. Take a look at this. So there's Lucas Oil Stadium, like 2 weeks ago.
Michael, this all seems incredibly unnecessary. They could have just gone to like the University of Indiana and used their swimming pool.
Well, it's Indiana University, but
well, right.
They don't have 75,000 people there.
But
look at this. And as they're filling this pool, I want you to know that I live, 20 miles away, and we've got a water crisis here that we don't have enough water.
Oh, so they can make a pool out of a football stadium, but they can't fill a pothole?
Look at this. Isn't that cool?
That's awesome. But wait, I thought don't they normally hold those in Omaha, though? I thought they normally held the swim trials in Omaha.
Correct. But this year, it's Indianapolis.
Boy, I just feel like it would have been way easier to do it in Omaha.
Yeah. That's
so
pretty cool.
Now what do you do with
it? Like 10 feet off the ground over here. I guess that one's probably 2, but yeah, 10 feet off the ground and pretty cool though.
It is, but logistically, I have so many questions. Like
the question why?
Yeah, that's why? Why?
So yeah, so that's what's going on in my neighborhood this weekend. And hey, Lucas Oil Stadium has a retractable roof. Okay, and it's supposed to be in the 90s here this weekend. Hot, humid, sunny. Now they're not going to open the roof because it's the Olympic trials, and I'm sure they don't want wind and things like that. As people go for records,
they don't want a bird flying in
with that. But that'd be cool if they had the roof open.
We don't want to open the roof because a shark might come in.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with the AC. We still want the sharks to come in.
No.
So yeah, that is. I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's well done. Well done. Oh, I think, unless it springs a leak, but still, logistically, I want to know why. Why was this necessary? It seems like so much trouble when they could have just. Well, I guess. What was wrong with Omaha?
So hey, I'll say this though, being the Indianapolis guy here and Kenny being the Omaha guy, and if Kenny's listening right now or watching us here, take that. Indianapolis.
Yeah, everyone just hold on. Hey, Omaha. Yeah.
No, I really don't know why. Omaha's hosted it for, as long as I can remember.
They also host the college.
Exactly. The only thing I can think of is because, 70, 80,000 people in attendance, being able to watch this, and it's all about money and revenue and NBC Sports and going to the Olympics in the fall,
But here's the thing. It's one thing if it's a football game, because at least that takes up the whole arena. You're going to have one person swimming in a little line, and you're in the nosebleed seats. How in the world are you going to be able to tell what's going on?
Oh, do you want me to answer that?
I'm just saying, if right. I was in the nosebleed seats, I wouldn't know what was going on. I don't think maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Listen, I play curling, okay? I don't do swimming, but
ooh, I've always wanted to do that.
Indiana has a lot of curling rinks. I used to curl there. Indianapolis actually has a big curling club there.
Not in Lucas Oil Stadium, they don't.
No, we're too cool for it. Get it?
Nice.
But see, now here's what would have been really impressive, though. Here's what would have been really impressive is if they built that swim rink in the ocean. There you go. Try making an Olympic swimming pool in the ocean.
Yeah, you're gonna break some records.
Now you got to worry about the shark. It adds an extra level. An extra level. We want our Olympians to be able to beat up a shark, throw it into the other lane.
Hey, the TV ratings.
So that trigger warning has been canceled, by the way. Which is why we haven't been talking about it. And plus, I was actually kind of somewhat mesmerized by that whole, impressive yet probably unnecessary conversion of a football field into a swimming pool. I'm kind of at a loss for words. At least we know that's not whatever. All right, so going back up north, if we want to go up to the Canadian border, which actually, for those of you who are astronomy fans, the Canadian border, at least on the northern part here of the U.S., that's about the limit of where true nighttime ends in the summertime. So at least right around the June equinox, if you go up north of the Canadian border, you still see darkness, but it's not technically true nighttime. And the line is pretty much right around the Canadian border. I can't remember if it's just north or if it's just south, but just a little fun fact for you there. If you want to see what not having true darkness in the summertime looks like, you'd have, go up to Winnipeg for, of course it doesn't last, as long as like it does further up north, but you get the idea. So that trigger warning is still in effect, but it's still radar indicated. Rotation does look like it has gone down a little bit, but this storm is still likely packing at least a little bit of maybe some hail with it. Still bears a little bit of watching. All tornado warnings have been canceled in Minnesota. We're now kind of starting to see that kind of congeal into a line. And then we were talking about Omaha, and we were also watching a couple of storms down there. We had this one supercell that was just kind of out by itself, hanging around, doing its own thing. And then unfortunately, another storm ran into it. That does appear that it took kind of a big hit on that storm. It probably, it looked like it interfered with the inflow, but not only that, but probably also the storm started running into some rain-cooled air here. It's entirely possible it might try to cycle back up a little bit, but might be struggling on account of the fact that it's also not moving very quickly. Another little storm up around Fort Dodge here in Iowa. No severe thunderstorm warning on that at this time. Maybe a little bit of hail there. We'll keep an eye on that storm. But overall, kind of also a little bit by itself as some additional little showers trying to form up around that area. As far as damage reports are concerned, a few of them coming in around the St. Cloud area. One of them from around Albany of a 50-foot tall tree uprooted. And the other one is also some tree damage. We did have at least a report of a confirmed tornado at one time with that storm. So could be maybe possible tornado damage, but didn't look like it was probably an overly big tornado. We had at least one tornado earlier up around the Crosby area. That's that same storm that we were watching. It may have dropped a second one, whether it was one continuous or two little individual tornadoes. We'll kind of have to wait and see. They didn't appear to look overly strong on the radar imagery, but decent tornadoes nonetheless. To kind of, we'll have to wait for the damage surveys to come out, but, mainly tree damage might be a little difficult to get kind of a true gauge on that storm. Otherwise, a lot of hail earlier on today up across Grand Rapids, Virginia, going back over to Park Rapids. We had quite a bit of 1.5 inch size hail reports, including a 2-inch size hail report north of Hibbing. Those storms, again, like I said, they produced quite a bit of hail. Then they started to kind of drop down a little bit on the hail. Still producing hail, though, as they made their way across the Arrowhead. Also, again, very rural area, very, very rural. You don't even have cell phone reception up around this area, to be quite honest. And I'm not talking just little portions. I'm talking the whole area. And so, not probably the best area for getting storm reports. My guess is some of those storms were still producing a little bit of hail even earlier on. One little storm does still have a special weather statement on it. Again, just maybe for a little bit of hail here. But if we look further back off towards the west, we can see there's not really much activity going on. My guess is this watch is going to go ahead and probably be canceled here. In fact, it's in effect. Whoop, that's not what I wanted. That watch is still in effect for another hour and 45 minutes, but I'm wondering if they might start to kind of hatch it away as we see the activity kind of quiet down a little bit. We're still left with kind of a little bit of a thundery evening, though, across the rest of Douglas County, going back over into the northern Pine County and heading out to areas just south there of the Tamarack region. Again, still producing a little bit of hail here, but these storms not looking quite as strong as they were earlier. We're just kind of starting to see things forming into more or less kind of this glob here of some steady rain. Minneapolis area might get a little bit noisy here over the next hour or so, especially across the north suburbs, but there's storms too also appear that they have kind of taken a little bit of a downtrend. However, as we take a look at some of these storms, though, we have a few little notches. Maybe keep an eye on that just a little bit. But for the most part, mainly just kind of, some heavy rain, slightly gusty winds, and maybe some small hail-producing storms. South of that, no watches in effect there. We haven't really seen much activity. Going to be kind of a warm evening across southern Minnesota as temperatures sit in the mid-80s, 86 degrees over in Marshall, Minnesota right now. That's a pretty warm temperature, especially for this time of the year. Well, actually, just in general, it's a warm temperature, at least by my standards. Additional thunderstorm activity out across Iowa this evening. Again, there is that little severe thunderstorm watch that they did tack on around the Omaha area, courtesy of 2 storms there. Looks like some pretty decent storm activity going on over Blair, north of Omaha. That could then eventually maybe track a little bit to the east, maybe of downtown Omaha. We'll see. Still kind of passing close nonetheless. Council Bluffs also in all of that Pottawatomie County area there. Now, you go up a little bit further north, Fort Dodge, just kind of a lone storm up there. maybe a little bit of hail with that. We'll kind of keep, we'll watch this for another few radar scans, but otherwise, just kind of a warm and muggy evening across much of northern Iowa. Temperatures sit in the lower 80s of dew points, in some cases going into the upper 60s, or in this case, up around New Hampton, it is around 73-degree dew point, though I'm wondering if that might be a faulty measurement, seeing as how most everything else is generally in the 60s. Michael, Indiana pretty quiet tonight, are they not?
Very quiet tonight. Nothing, but I'll fire up tomorrow night.
Yeah, Indiana. And it will be firing up tomorrow night. In fact, we're expecting the same system to produce some strong storms across parts of the, I want to say the upper Midwest, I guess the lower part of the Midwest somewhat there. That could be pretty interesting to watch as we go into tomorrow evening. By the way,
I've got it on my radar too. Look at this. Boom.
Yeah, there you go. Davenport, Kirksville, Missouri.
So, yeah,
Missouri being the one state I still can't figure out. Iowa. Apparently, they don't want Wisconsin to have anything tomorrow. Look at how straight that line is. It goes from Dubuque.
Not touching.
No, Wisconsin. You don't get anything tomorrow. You had your chance.
And then look at this.
And hey, look at that.
Includes Indiana there. And just so put things in perspective there, see this road right there? Yeah. That's where you drove, US 30.
Yeah, US 30. I've driven that. Michael, I've driven that road. I can't even, I've been at least solidly driving that road for 8 years now.
Hey,
like more than once and as you take a look there, it's not the map deceives you. There are so many red lights around Columbia City and then Warsaw and then whatever the heck goes on around in Valparaiso when you're trying to hop up north. If you take I can't remember the highway number now. I just know 49, I think it is. Because you get off the Valpo exit and then you go up because you can take 65 if you want, but I don't because so you take 30, you go to Valpo, and then you get up and you go all the way up to Chesterton. You hop on to the turnpike near the Chesterton exit. And then you have the option of paying a bunch of money to go over the toll bridge in Indiana and Illinois because they make you pay both times. I don't know why they don't just put one toll and share the money, but whatever. So I say the heck with that. So I cut down I go through 94 and then I cut up north because take that.
Do you go up 94 or do you go up 57?
No, I go through downtown Chicago every time. Like I'm not paying the money to go around it. Oh yeah, I know. I hop up on the 94. And then depending on my mood, every once in a while I'll finish up and just go through Milwaukee and then turn. But it's quicker just to take 90 all the way to Rockford and then head up north through Janesville.
Yeah.
Except last time I was there, they had a heck of an accident and closed the whole interstate down. And I was like, guess I should have went through Milwaukee.
Yeah. Yeah. And just put things in perspective here. So Evansville, look at that. I-69 that never existed in this place right here. Boom. And so they're finalizing right now. Look at that. See, just the last piece of it right here. It's under construction. And that's supposed to be done by the end of this calendar year, Timmy. So if you're ever in Fort Wayne and be like, I want to go down to Evansville or I want to go to Texas, you can just go straight down 69.
I remember, because I was working in Indiana at the time when they were talking about, and I remember they had the discussion that they wanted to make it a toll road.
Yeah, that did not happen.
Yeah. I just remember that was like a big deal. Everyone was like, we don't want a toll road. I'm like, well, good God.
And then on Friday, I'll be driving up 31 here, north of Kokomo, and heading straight up here to Lake Michigan.
To Lake Michigan.
Right up
you know why they call it Lake Michigan?
What?
Do you know why they call it Lake Michigan?
It's a lake.
Yeah, it's by Michigan.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that joke. I was going somewhere, but I don't remember.
I don't know.
Um,
Hey, by the way,
Ben
I told like Greening that we were talking crap about him and talking about him and talking crap about Omaha. With that, you know what his response was? He said, "Ha ha, awesome! I'm famous now."
oh,
Yeah.
oh, Kenny. Oh, Kenny. Ian is Omaha is a fun city to go to. It's you kind of meet like a lot of people like Kenny out in Omaha.
Hey, tornado warning.
Oh, right when I was getting ready to suggest we go off. No.
Radar indicator.
Well, it's on that little line, that little little notches on that little kind of quasi line there. They just have it as radar indicated. It's not that defined, but it could easily ramp up. It's got that little notch right here. So we kind of got this like weird wannabe line kind of thing going on here. And there's a few little notches in it, especially one right here north of Bethel. And then the other one pretty much right over 65. I don't know what town that would be. And then the other one here that is tornado warned. So this might be one of those little kind of storms that might fluctuate a little bit. But it is not the most defined signature here. I want to back it up a couple frames and see what it looked like when they first issued the warning. Let's see here. So they put that. Yeah, so it was looking good there. So there was a little bit of a, see right there, kind of an increase in the reds right there. So it did look like it was maybe looking to be something. But now it looks like it's kind of fallen apart a little bit. But I would not put it past this little line here to maybe try to revamp, or maybe another part of it tries to, just based on its kind of its structure. But very thin tornado warning, radar indicated, not really much else with that. Again, right now, just radar indicated. It will be crossing I-35 here, and let me go ahead and put a time track on it. I'll be crossing I-35 here probably in about the next 10 to 15 minutes. I'm sorry, less than that. Excuse me. Probably about the next 10 minutes or so. It'll be crossing I-35, and then it will make its way into Wisconsin.
Yeah, so it seems like things are kind of, I won't say winding down, but from a tornado threat, it seems to be diminishing right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, yeah. Except for, how's our, oh, here we go, 3.5-inch size hail from that Omaha one earlier.
Wow.
You know what, Michael? This guy ain't giving up.
No, he's not.
No, it's not. It looks like we got another little notch right here. Oh,
Yep.
You can see the outflow. Look at that. Little outflow right there. You can see it on the radar. That is like a little cold front. Just like that. And it's a meso front, so we would put these little hashes in between. Boom.
Nice.
Weather map 101. There you go.
Hey.
And there'd be like another little front right here that would, I guess, more or less be stationary. Like that. And then here's your inflow. And there's your little storm, effectively. And then big. Man, they're getting hit. I'm curious as to what some of the hail reports are going to be around the Blair area. I mean, they've been getting whacked too pretty good here. For
Yeah.
honestly, look at that.
For a while.
Yeah, that's just one of those, Guess you're not having the barbecue today. Oh, that sounds really good now. Michael, can we have barbecue?
Go ahead. Yeah.
At the next weather meeting, can you bring barbecue for everyone? You can mail it.
I'll FedEx. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. FedEx it to me.
Overnight. So it's fresh.
Thank you. You can do that, by the way. You can order. I think ironically they're called Omaha steaks. I think you can do that.
That's right. Omaha steaks. There you go. There you go. Everybody's ever had it, put it in the chat there. Let us know.
So, you ever had food poisoning?
Our next live stream, we're going to have a cooking segment. And so as we're following along, we'll also be cooking dinner. And we'll just make a show out of it.
I can dig it. You ever had food poisoning?
Yes.
It's terrible, right? See, that's the only reason why I'm always hesitant to order food that can be shipped, that can be mailed. I'm sure they're fine. But if you've ever had the experience of food poisoning, you're always really hesitant when it comes to stuff like that. Just because I don't know. At least that's for me. I would love to, and I'm sure it's fine. It's just I don't want to go through that again. And it wasn't that gave me. It was the only time I've ever been betrayed by Chinese food. But it wasn't. I was warned not to go there. It was a buffet place.
Yeah. For me, it was IHOP.
I don't know where I'm going with this. Oh, dude, IHOP. Tell you what, IHOP's got some good food.
It does. I just had one.
That surprises me. IHOP, huh?
Of all places, IHOP.
Yeah, I would not have expected that.
But anyway, hey, look, we got a missile sale discussion.
Hey! Yay! Kind of what we already know. No, just kidding.
Right?
Yeah, so risk of large hail, locally damaged internal continues across the Weather Watch 405 and 406. Oh, okay. And then grass near term tornado and large hail threat is right there over Hinkley. And that's recent. Okay. Well, they have a mesoscale discussion for Omaha. I'm just curious.
I've not seen one yet. But I haven't really paid that close attention to that one. In Kansas. Is there a storm in Kansas?
There's one in Iowa.
Hey, look at that, buddy. Yeah, there is one in Kansas. Not warned yet.
Yeah, you show it. You show your radar.
Okay. Hang on a second. Let me take off the severe weather threat for tomorrow. Makes it look weird. All right. Let's see. Where are we? That's my radar. Nope.
That's me.
That's
hey,
my radar. Hello. Hey, in the great state of Kansas. Look at this. Look at that, buddy. Right there.
Hey, rock on, dude.
Yeah.
Do it, little dude. Be the biggest storm you can be.
Starting to drop a little fuel there, probably. Yeah.
Hey, where's Chris?
I don't know. Must have had something going on tonight here. But hang on. So that's getting close to Kenny there. Let's see what he just said. It's looking dark just to the east of Omaha from these storms. And there's a video. Let's see what he put here. Oh, he's driving. He's driving.
Hey, ask him if he's got a baseball glove. Catch the hailstones.
Yeah.
That
I don't
was
know what the
terrible.
laws are in Nebraska, but in Indiana, you better not be using your cell phone while you're driving. That's a no-no.
I would respect those laws if I didn't see the police doing them too.
Listen to you.
I'm sorry, but like, it's like when you see an officer not even following you, you're just like, why even bother? I mean, have you seen the inside of a police car? It's like there's so much stuff they're on their computer, they got their GPS, they got their phone. I'm like, okay.
That's a good point. Yeah. I'm checking in with Ken here to see if he can call in here and we can talk to him and see what he's seeing there in Omaha.
I see sky. Oh no! Omaha's catching up. For those of you who are like me and are Toledo Mud Hens fans, yes, that means we have to root for the Detroit Tigers. You take what you get. Top of the eighth.
I'm going to get back with you with a special guest. Hang on, I'll be back.
Sweet. Top of the eighth inning right now. Toledo still leads Omaha 4-3. However, Omaha has runners on the corners with 2 outs. Up to bat right now is Man. I don't know his first name, but he is 2 for 2 tonight. We'll see here what he's going to do. Now, I hope he's at 2 balls right now and no strikes. Now, ideally, we would want him to, strike out since, we're Toledo. We don't want Omaha to win. And that is not what happened, actually. Apparently, looks like Devin Mann doubles on a line drive, and that has now put Omaha on top 5-4. Still 2 outs, and we have a runner now on second base. Not good news for the Mud Hens, who have held a 4-point lead, but in typical Tigers affiliation fashion, we tend to not be able to hold on to a lead into the last couple of innings. Case in point,
your Toledo team there is going up against Kenny's Omaha team. We got Kenny Greeny live here. He's on the phone with us live from Omaha right now, where this storm is just to the north of him.
The Omaha Storm Chasers. That's the baseball team.
The Omaha Storm Chasers. Not only are they playing tonight, they're out and about doing work.
Is Kenny on with us?
Hey, Kenny, can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you just fine. How you guys doing?
Can you hear that to me?
Good. Oh, I can hear him.
All right, yeah, I'll let you talk to him and kind of see what Kenny sees here. And I'll just ask one question, and then Timmy take over here. So exactly where are you in Omaha right now, Kenny? We'll find you on the map.
I'm in East Omaha. I was just near the airport just a little bit ago. But right now I'm on the Iowa side of the river in Council Bluffs.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm just about a mile south of Epley Airfield at the moment.
Did you stop at Carter Lake?
What's that?
Did you stop at Carter Lake? The only part of Iowa.
Yep, just south of Carter Lake, Iowa.
I've been through there once. That's fun. It's the only part of Iowa on the other side of the river. It's a long story.
Yeah, and just a fun little fact about that for viewers that are interested in a little bit of geography. In 1877, the Missouri River flooded pretty badly, and it shifted the course of the river, which is why Carter Lake, Iowa is on the Nebraska side of the river. And the octopus-shaped lake of Carter Lake is the old river channel. Just a little fun fact there.
So here's what he's talking about. So here's Carter Lake, Iowa, and then here's the river. So you can see the river.
The river shifted about a mile to the south, from its old channel.
And what's funny about that is, so I went through there once. And if you're going from downtown Omaha to the airport, you have to cross into Iowa.
Yes. Yep. Without even crossing the river. Yep. And that's something like people with the College World Series fans will notice when they land in Omaha here shortly. They'll notice that welcome to Iowa sign on that highway there. And it's only goes through Iowa for about a mile, that highway, which is also called Abbott Drive.
Yeah, because I remember when I drove through there, I did that loop, and yeah, it's just whoop. It's just all of a sudden you see a welcome to Iowa, and you're like, but I knew ahead of time. That's why I went there. But
Yeah, these
is I was gonna say, is Carter Lake gonna survive?
Carter Lake will be fine.
That's Carter Lake.
Although, yeah, Epley Airfield, the eastern side of it did get hit by this tornado. A tornado on April 26th. But I think that debris all picked up now. But yeah, Carter Lake should be mostly spared. At least the last radar run I was able to look at anyway. I don't have radar on me right now.
Well, from where you are, can you look about 17 miles to your northwest? There's a little bit of a hook feature on the storm. I just wondered if you are able to see it. Though I think that's probably pushing the boundary of what you could see, even if you could actually see it.
I can't really see well where I'm at, but the last radar scan I looked at about, I don't know, half hour or so, I did notice a hook, trying to form with a little bit of a gust front on the tail end of the storm. But yeah, I'm looking to my northwest now. I'm not able to see a whole lot. I see a little bit of modest clouds to my northwest. But that's about
Those
it.
are fun. The modest clouds, cooler air getting cooler air going over the warmer of the storm. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, the Mamadas, they kind of look like pillows under the clouds, which is very beautiful show from Mother Nature.
Have you ever
the storm there, Penny? Winds of 60 miles per hour and 2-inch diameter hail heading your way. So hopefully you don't have the vehicle getting out and getting damaged and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'll have to put I'm going to be putting the vehicle here in the garage just to be on the safe side. I see some nice cumulus towers to my southwest too, which is actually a pretty neat sight with some little bit of blue sky in the background.
Yeah,
it's currently starting to rain as well.
Yeah, it's right there. And then the storm just to the north of you there, that supercell there has 3-inch diameter hail. So they're saying large apple-sized hail, 70 mile per hour winds with that one. So 2 storms here, but they're just, the winds are there, but they've just been slow movers. The one that's going to you right now is moving southeast at 20 miles per hour. So if you get on top of that hail gets on top of you there, you're stuck with that for a while.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Earlier, it did look like the storm was almost stationary. Like it looked like it was barely moving on radar. And yeah, I was actually able to open one of my radar apps now, and I see that hooking appendage on the storm, southwestern side of the storm, and it looks like that part of the storm may actually go over Carter Lake and Epley Airfield area. So yeah, that's something we'll have to keep an eye on here in downtown Omaha. Just to note, I think some of the College World Series teams have landed in Omaha. So I think some of the teams are in Omaha right now. So
they get some batting practice in with the hail. Use the baseball-size hail. Don't even got to get the pitcher warmed up.
Yeah, if there's baseball-size hail, they can get some batting practice then.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Perfect practice.
Hey, Kenny.
Before that.
Do you remember, Kenny, back? Oh, now I'm thinking like 6 or so years ago, they had a big hail, because I remember, because I was helping out I was helping forecast with the baseball team there, the Omaha Storm Chasers, and they had a big hailstorm that came through, and it was like baseball size hail all through downtown and everything. You remember that?
Yeah, yeah. And how many years ago were you estimating?
I'm sorry?
I remember back in like 2011, there being softball size hail in parts of Omaha. And where I live, we did get some of that softball size hail.
So, like, answer me this question. You're sitting inside, and all of a sudden, just softballs start falling from the sky. I mean, is that something that, like, because again, where I'm from, we get hail, but it doesn't normally get that big. Out in the plains, it's a different story. But I mean, if you're just at home, obviously you hear, softballs falling. Like, what's it like? I've always wondered, like, is it just like one of those things you're just like, oh, I guess it's hailing out. You just go back to your day? Or, I mean, when you're dealing with softballs, is that like a get away from the windows kind of thing?
Yeah, that was something. Yeah, back then I stayed away from my windows. This was before I even went into college for meteorology. But yeah, it was something I wasn't even really quite expecting. I just saw a huge splat in the street. It just started as just a few of them, and then it started coming down faster and heavier. But yeah, I haven't seen softball size hail here, and I think since then that I can remember. Yeah, the clouds here, they're still dark in my northeast, and it's raining a little bit heavier now. The wind is also picking up. But yeah, as that storm approaches that hook, yeah, I obviously expect the winds to pick up here. So if you're in downtown Omaha or Epping Airfield, Carter Lake, it would be a good idea to stay inside, park your vehicles in the garage, just to be on the safe side. And if you're in western Iowa, like I want to say, around Missouri Valley, probably. I think that area is where the hail threat is the largest. Please correct me if I'm wrong. My radar shut off here, but it looks like Crescent and Fort Calhoun. Yeah, Fort Calhoun is in it now.
Hey, Michael, who's our bird friend?
Hey, yeah, Kenny, I'm showing on the screen here the Falcon Cam from Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah, with that. And so, yeah, you can see it's getting a little windy there, and the Falcon's taking shelter in the makeshift nest there. I don't know what you call that thing. The birdhouse.
So does it like live there, or does it like just fly around and pick? How's that work? Why is there a falcon? First off,
I don't know. Is this a famous falcon, Kenny?
Say that again. Sorry,
sorry about that. Is this falcon famous or?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like the storm's about 13 miles. The biggest part of the storm is about 13 miles to the northwest of Omaha, at Epley Airfield.
Oh no, not Epley Airfield.
I apologize. At times it's kind of hard to hear. It cuts in and out.
It's all right. It happens to me all the time.
Yeah, I'm still outside, just kind of watching the skies right now.
So I'm seeing some hail reports coming out of from Emping. About 1.5. There's a tennis ball hail report that came out near the Blair area. Tennis ball size hail. And these aren't official, but gives us a good indication that obviously we know this thing is producing hail. 2-inch hail reports. We got a lot of hail reports from Blair, The closest one yet to Omaha is about ping pong ball size hail, and that's coming from just northwest of Fort Calhoun. It does appear we're getting a couple of rotating wall cloud reports coming in from around the Bennington area where that hook feature there is on that storm. So, Kenny, you may have a good look at it here in a bit. You might also be getting some hail here in a bit because it's looking like this part right here. Michael, I'm going to steal the radar really fast, and then I'll put your thing back up there. I just want to show the radar here. Everyone to see what we're looking at. So Kenny's down here in Omaha. Obviously, this is downtown Omaha. Here's Carter Lake, Iowa, and there's the Omaha Airport. So this is the area that we're watching right in around here, this little hook appendage that we got. I didn't draw that too well, but you get the idea. And then right in here is where that thick hail is. It's pretty much straddling the western side of the Missouri River. But as this kind of drops down to the south, we'll watch here maybe around the Briggs area, right up along 680 on the north side of 680. Some of this maybe might try to graze it a little bit. And, obviously still a little too early to tell exactly if it's going to track down to Omaha, but could maybe be making its way into Council Bluffs. We're talking about the hail part here. Now, we have gotten some hail reports upwards of about 2.5 inches. But that was earlier up around the Blair region, Blair being right up here. Last report that I have seen on my end, though, like I said, unofficial, it's an MPing report, but it is ping pong ball sized hail. And that looks to be right around this area here. So we're still probably picking up some pretty decent hail within this storm here. Question is, there's still some of that 2-inch size hail in there. A little uncertain at the moment, but certainly is still producing some pretty decent size hail. And, coming up, now, on the Omaha area, getting ready to cross in the, honestly, kind of getting ready to cross in the Douglas County as a whole. That's all I had to say. Sorry, Michael, I'll put your screen back up.
Yeah, thank you for that. I have my headphones in now, so I can hear you better, Timmy.
Yay!
Yeah.
I think earlier when I was looking at the storm, it had kind of that classic third body, scattered like spike, classic for large hail. But the skies are still pretty dark to my north as expected. I can see a little bit of nice sunset to the northwest as well, but yeah, large hail. Yeah, it could sneak in, into Eckley Airfield from what I'm looking at here. This looks pretty beautiful out here. But yeah, if you guys are in Crescent or Fort Calhoun, Carter Lake, Eckley Airfield, again, just go inside, stay away from windows because the winds will start picking up. And the hail could cause pretty considerable damage. And if you're outside in it, it's big enough to kill you if you're out there. So just be safe and be cautious.
Yeah, it's a good point. And we're watching a live stream feed here of a camera at the Midtown Tower, Blackstone Tower, or Blackstone Plaza. There, and we can see exactly what you're talking about there. The skies are darkening as that storm is getting closer here to Omaha.
Oh yeah, I'm noticing it pretty considerably. I was kind of thinking about getting back in my vehicle and at least maybe going kind of closer to Eckley Airfield and Carter Lake again. But unfortunately, my phone is getting close to dying. I'm at 15%.
No! Charge it!
Hey, Timmy, look out here. The Fort Dodge area. We got
Hey! Look at that!
Yes. 1-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. On that
Marginally severe.
Let's check our Kansas storm here and see what
F5.
Look at that thing.
Oh.
Massive. That little baby.
Hey, it's trying, okay?
Yeah, give them credit. Give them credit. All right, but yeah, these two storms here are some powerful storms. See if we got any updates here. So 2-inch size diameter hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds in the northern storm, and then the one hitting the Omaha area right now, again, 2-inch diameter hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with that one as well. So, but we're not seeing, Sammy, I don't know, in the Bennington area. You got a little ball there forming. What are we looking at there?
Yeah, well, the rotation itself seems to be a little bit back from that, a little bit just smidge north of where that ball is there. There still is a little bit of some rotation there. There have been a few rotating wall cloud reports. Most recent one being about 5 minutes ago. So that storm is certainly rotating a bit here, especially in the lower levels. But at the moment, nothing new on my end with that. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on the hail here. It looks like they're diverting some of the flights going into Epley Field. They don't want to fly a plane into the hail. Well, they're in a holding pattern at the moment. So I like to track planes. I'm a nerd. So I was just watching one of the flights, and they got them in a holding pattern until the storm blows through. It looks like they were going to try to land it at the last second, but probably not. So that being said, yeah, so here's the area of rotation. So obviously this is the hail part here. You can see these kind of darker colors. And then this is where the rotation is that we're looking at, right there. So we'll go ahead and kind of back this up just a little bit. It's this part right here of the storm that we're watching. Again, no tornado warning on it. There is some rotation with this thing. We expect that when a storm is producing 2.5-inch size hail, potentially, that it will have rotation in it. It has to. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to, but it's a supercell. Now, we've talked about this before throughout a couple times so far this season, that when we're watching these big hail events, yes, these guys are typically rotating, and every now and then that rotation could mix down to the surface. So this really isn't going to be so much of a tornado type of thing as it's mainly going to be a hail type of thing for these storms. But again, we are still watching a little bit of lowering right now, at least some low-level rotation, kind of to be expected. The question is whether or not it's going to cycle up any as we start getting our way towards, kind of the eastern edge here of, the western edge here of the Missouri River. The rotation itself is pretty much right at the Douglas County line. So we'll see exactly how that's going to track.
Yeah, and I want to tell you, Jimmy, here that Kenny here on the Nebraska Facebook page, this is a post from early this morning with that actually pinpointed the possibility here of some severe storms here on the eastern side of Nebraska with that. So it flat out says there's a chance of strong to severe storms this afternoon in that area. And so hats off to you, Kenny, there. You guys, you called this one. That there was a possibility here, and something that I don't know if it was a popular opinion or not, but it's something that turned out to be absolutely spot on. So when we say we want to create accurate forecasts and so forth, you nailed it today. So nice job, Kenny.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's what I love to do is, create accurate forecasts for our viewers and our subscribers. My goal is to get at Weather Valet and America's Weather streaming channels to make sure everyone is safe. I just wanted to let you guys know a quick observation that I just made is some cloudy ground lightning to my northwest. So folks, if you're outside, please go inside. We don't want anybody getting struck by lightning.
Well, there's a few people I want to get struck by lightning. I'm just kidding.
As Kenny was saying earlier, even though this isn't a huge tornado threat, there is a chance that there could be a spin-up tornado with, that this could try to cycle and spin a quick tornado. But we're not trying to scare you. Just know that that's a possibility. That's why it's best just to be inside and listen to us. until the storm passes. That way we can keep it safe.
Yeah, we've got a severe supercell thunderstorm just entering the Omaha area with this 2-inch size diameter hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust with the storm. And with us here, meteorologist Kenny Greening, live in Omaha right now, giving us minute-by-minute update here of exactly what he's seen in the Omaha area. And meteorologist Timmy Albertson in the office watching this from the comfort of his computer here, and has got the technology available to monitor radar and storm reports and such. So it looks like, Timmy, we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning on the storm that's going over the Omaha area right now. What do you see in that?
Yeah, there's a recent report coming out from the North Omaha Airport. 1 3/4 inch size hail. So this thing is still producing some pretty decent hail. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning. It's just an extension of the, it's not an extension. It's the same storm, just, new warning for it. About 2-inch size hail with that. That does include downtown Omaha, Council Bluffs. It includes areas right up and along the Missouri River there, going all the way down towards Bellevue, Plattsmouth, Glenwood, and Silver City. Again, kind of expecting the storm to be tracking down to the south and to the east, which generally it's been kind of staying on course for the most part with that. One area that watching in particular right now is going to be this section right here over Garden Valley Courts, right where 75, Highway 70, US 75 crosses over. Oh man, I can't. I was going to make a really cool statement, but now I can't remember. Anyways. Basically, right over where US 75 is, just extreme, just wow. I can't talk all of a sudden, Michael. Let me try that again. US 75, just west of Carter Lake. Again, we kind of got a pocket there. As mentioned, this is kind of where the strongest of the hail has been. Looks like we got a new report coming in, about 2-inch size hail report at Lake Cunningham. This was just a few moments ago. So certainly producing some pretty decent size hail. Going to be kind of a loud little bit here across the Omaha, over the city of Omaha here. Maybe a little loud as we get some hail. I will say the rotation aspect that we were kind of looking at seems to have gone down a bit. Here is what's kind of left of it. This little section right there. So not as pronounced as it was, albeit, it was, it's just kind of a rotating wall cloud, which is both Kenny and I have mentioned, kind of would expect a little bit to see with these type of storms. It's not anything unusual, but it does appear that it has kind of gone down a little bit. But we'll have to see maybe if we can get a new area of rotation or whatnot to kind of pick up here. But overall, storm looks like it's about ready to start raining in downtown Omaha. It's storming over Carter Lake right now and over at Epley Field.
Oh, yeah, it's raining pretty. The wind is picked up here where I'm at, just south of Epley Airfield. But yeah, just no hail yet where I'm from. But we'll just have to wait and see what we get at my location. If it does start hailing here, I'll get some video for you guys. And for you folks that may be watching, if you have any pictures or videos that you would like to share with us, please share them in the comment section or go to our Facebook pages. We have one for each state. You can go to America's Weather Streaming Channel /Nebraska on Facebook. We also have a Twitter account, Instagram account, and we can share them to any of those social media sources. We would love to get that information and those pictures and videos from you guys. It'd be much appreciated.
Hey, it's First National Bank.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry about that, Timmy. I was just pulling up the live cam there so you can see. I don't know exactly what we can see other than some very dark skies. It's too high up.
I see Omaha.
Omaha, there it is.
Hey, Kenny, get out and wave. I want to see if I can see you. Are you waving?
What's that?
You didn't see him? I saw him. He was right there.
Oh, sorry, the building was in the way.
Yeah.
It was the Falcon. It was the Falcon.
Yeah.
There you
that's
go.
it, yeah.
So I don't know exactly where this Blackstone Plaza is, but it doesn't look like a training there yet. So this must be more on the west side of town. And we're looking probably the east or northeast there. Is that what you're thinking there, Timmy?
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
Blackstone.
I remember. Oh, Kenny would know better. He's there.
I gotta try to recall here. I don't think that's an area I go out too much. Actually, Blackstone Plaza, that's in downtown Omaha. It's, I think actually a corporate office right off of Farnham Street, right around 30th and Farnham. For your folks in Omaha, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the Farnan area. Yeah.
Yeah. But right around Midtown Crossing in downtown Omaha.
There you go.
And rain is picking up here where I'm at. You might be able to hear it over the phone. I'm not sure. But
And hey, take a look at this here, Timmy. With this, we do have quite a bit of lightning well ahead of this storm here. Did you notice that? I don't know if you have your lightning detector on yours, but
It could be the anvil top of it being blown over across the wind. My guess is, Kenny, I guess I could pull up a satellite and find out, but my guess is that, because of this thing's track, those winds are probably upper level winds are probably pushing that, the top of that anvil out. So it might just be some cloud to cloud lightning bouncing off the ice crystals and everything up there. That's the only thing I could think of as to why that would be. Well, that was useless.
I don't know what I just did there. But well, the clouds are gone away. The storm's still there.
Yeah, the storm's still there, but no clouds.
I don't know what's up with my radar Omega tonight, but it's not being my friend, is it?
I don't know. That was weird. But my guess is that's what that lightning. It's probably just cloud to cloud, and who knows? It could even maybe be, wow, I can't talk again. It could just be maybe it's off also, like detection is off just a little bit. But that's what my guess is with why we're seeing those lightning strikes out ahead. It's probably just cloud to cloud lightning at the top of the anvil that's being blown out. You know what I mean?
hey guys, I just wanted to interrupt real quick just to let you know that there's peace out here where I'm at right now, but not any larger than that right now, which is kind of consistent with what I'm seeing on the radar. It looks like that hill core is really weakened. So I am getting peace sides here where I'm at. So just want to let you guys know that.
Yeah, pea-sized hail there with that, and then also
Make sure you M-ping it, Kenny. M-ping it.
What's that?
Sorry. Make sure you put it on M-ping. Report your hail.
Report your hail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just pea-sized though. Hey, Kenny, as you're looking at the storm there, you said maybe some of the World Series college baseball teams are there, getting ready for the tournament there. What about the swimmers for the U.S. Swim meet?
Oh yeah, I believe swimmers are here as well.
Are they?
Yeah. I guess. Oh wait, Hale's getting a little larger now. Yeah, it's getting larger now. It's kind of looks like quarter size. I'm gonna get a video for you guys if I can. I can't.
Pictures.
Can I I'll go ahead and let you guys go, and I'll turn to a quick video here
Absolutely.
because I'm not able to do it while on a call for some reason.
Yeah, you're good. Yep, do your thing there. Appreciate you calling in here.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one, guys.
Hey,
Stay
see you. Be safe.
Thanks. Bye.
Meteorologist Kenny Greening there, live in Omaha. Timmy, I don't think he knows about the swimmers yet. They're not in Omaha. They won't be. We'll talk later.
I got that. I caught that. I was like, ooh, salty.
Hey, speaking of ooh, look at that.
You being a little salty, Michael. All right.
Countable blood. A little orange outside. Little orange. Let's take a look at Union Bank.
Must be a wildfire.
I wonder if that's alive. That looks more alive.
So there's the adult Nebraska, and then there's the children's Nebraska.
That's true. That's true. Now, Kenny, I think, was in the children's one.
Oh.
Hey, this is brought to us by here, Wild Tea. Wild Tea.
WOWT. Your news for Omaha sports, weather, and breaking news.
Yes. Traffic on the 8s.
Oh.
Nice and sunny there.
For now. And then the sun falls. No. Okay.
Hey, what do you think? It's in the we haven't had any tornado warnings for a while anywhere in the United States. Let me back out and just confirm that. Yeah, nothing here. There's still a couple of.
Oh no, yeah, no. I kind of figured. I kind of figured we were just chatting it up with Kenny.
Yeah.
I do want to really quickly once more up here in Minnesota. Went up on Sandstone, and I got stuck here in the mud once. It was an awful experience. It started out paved. Oh, stupid road not being.
Kind of like that bridge.
Anyways. This thing's got a small little rotation notch on it as it comes up on St. Croix State Park. It'd be interesting to watch this guy as it maybe tries to cycle once more. This would be I believe, our good long-term friend here that we've been dealing with since Crosby. It's still kicking a little bit, and a little bit of a notch right here as it gets ready to cross the river into Wisconsin. That'll be around the Danbury, Oakland, and Webster region there over in Burnett County. But no tornado warning on that, though it is still tagged as tornado possible. A couple of hail reports from it, about 1.5 inches, but that's really about it from that storm. My guess is this thing might start to weaken here. It has kind of weakened, but it might weaken a bit further here. Really, the biggest storm right now we got kind of going on is the one in Omaha. These are some of the hail reports that we've gotten so far. 1 3/4 inch hail, golf ball size here near Benson High School. 2-inch size hail report, Lake Cunningham, not that long ago. 2.5-inch size hail report south of Fort Calhoun from a train spotter not that long ago. That appears to be the biggest one we've gotten from that storm. The other storm gave us about a 3-inch size hail near Little Sioux back in Iowa from a train spotter there, 3-inch size hail. And then we had a pretty big 3.5-inch size hail near Monona County back in Iowa. That was from an MPing report there, but that's at least coming through there on the filter. So obviously the strongest storm we probably got right now is this guy around the Omaha area, producing kind of a good bit in the way of hail. Still has a little bit of a hook feature to it, but it doesn't look like that rotation is really getting down to the surface. I mean, well, organized at least down at the surface. The hail core itself is getting pretty much right over downtown Omaha now, so we should start getting some hail reports there. My guess is here in about a few minutes. And then I think that's about it. Michael, what do you think?
Yeah. I'm thinking the same thing there too. And I'll tell you, Timmy, and the viewers here, I zoomed in here on the radar to Northwest Kansas. Okay, and I put in a nice, perfectly drawn square. I have put 9 counties in on this, and these are the 9 counties, Timmy, that America's Weather streaming channels, the 24/7 channel, when it debuts here on August the 1st. It's going to focus on these 9 counties. This is where we've got most of our Weather Valet subscribers at, and you see Atwood, Kansas here, this area right there. So the Atwood, the cable company there in Atwood, we're working out the contract right now to be able to stream this 24/7 station, to their cable customers there. But a lot of cities here, St. Francis. You've probably heard of Goodland before.
Oh, yeah.
Other services there. Sharon Springs, Wyona, Colby, Oakley, and others here. These are going to be common cities that we're going to hear a lot about. So we're going to hyper focus on this area right here, grow our business here, and then start to expand outward as we get into Kansas City, into eventually Omaha, to eventually Minnesota, Wisconsin area, and then we push further east, to St. Louis and Indianapolis and so forth. So the plan is that starting this these 9 counties there in this rectangle, and hyper focused, personalized, accurate, accessible weather information that our team will focus on, and then like I said, expand outward here. So the 24/7 channel is going to launch on August the 1st. And like I said, we're working through some contracts here with local cable company. We're working with our app developer for Roku app, and so forth. And we're getting some businesses advertised and so forth. So it's an exciting time for our company here as we launch this channel on August the 1st. And it'll have a whole new look to it. And I think it'll be very well received. This is an area, Timmy, that's really not covered by local TV stations. So kind of in between Wichita and Denver. So they're kind of left out of the loop there when it comes to weather. And so we'll be able to come in here and give them the weather information they need to know.
And I'm sure they will enjoy weather chats with Timmy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So weather chats are coming back. So yeah. And for those of you
of course.
Yeah,
they're coming back.
Timmy's getting married. Yeah.
That's right. So it's been a little bit busy on my end, but
That's right.
yes, they'll be back. They'll be ready for August.
Maybe August 1st. Maybe we'll just say August 1st for everything.
August 1st. Everyone, everything August 1st.
2 weeks.
When's the pizza coming? August 1st.
There we go. So yeah, exciting time here. So we've got meteorologists all across the country here doing great work. We're going to, working on our social media channels, our outlets there, and getting those going as well. So kind of an exciting time for us as we're starting to launch some new things and communicating weather information that people need to know, and in a variety of ways, and just try to be accessible as possible. So if you just simply, messaging us and, getting the weather information you need from there, or from an app, or from a social media outlet, or from YouTube, or from an email, whatever it is, we cover so many different areas that we're accessible 24/7. So that's all I got, Timmy. I just had to put that plug in there. With that, if you're on YouTube or whatnot, make sure you subscribe to our channel here. That helps us a lot, and share it as well, especially if you're on Facebook or Twitter or whatnot. Share what we're doing here. We'll continue to grow this thing, and like I said, we'll just try to meet everybody's weather needs.
Yeah. So one thing I do want to point out: do we happen to have any of those cameras up from around Omaha? Because it looks like that the hail might have actually increased a bit when I went over downtown. So I was just curious. I mean, it's right over downtown, the hail core part of it. So I just didn't know if you had any of those pictures up. There you go. Yeah, that looks like there's some hail and some rain. Yeah.
Around here.
So that looks old. While
There we go.
oh yeah, there we go. So
Hey, there's Kenny.
what?
There's Kenny.
Oh, hey, Kenny, how you doing, man?
Yeah, yeah, that's him right there.
Yeah, there he is. I see him. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, tell him to grab me a hailstone. Right now, like I said, it looks like there might have been a little bit of an uptick in the intensity of the storm right as it went over downtown Omaha. Regardless, we're still getting quite a few hail reports further up to the north. Now that this thing is obviously in downtown, we're starting to get a lot more hail reports. 1.5 inch size hail report coming through. We also got 1 inch size hail report, 2.5 inch size hail report. That's a big hailstone coming around this area too. So I don't know if the Nebraska Department of Transportation has any cameras up, but if they do for Omaha, Michael, that might be something to see if they got any. If NDOT, the Nebraska Department of Transportation, has any cameras up, that might be something to take a look at. So while he's, I think, maybe looking, let's take a look at the storm. All right, what in the world are we talking about? Right. Here we go. So we're looking at this kind of strong, storm, this the supercell thunderstorm, effectively, that is making its way right over Omaha. Now, obviously, the city of Omaha does extend out a little bit further, but the heaviest of the storm is right over downtown. In fact, a few radar scans ago, when we had Kenny on, it was looking like, there was a little bit of a downtrend, and then it just kind of went right back up, these purple colors here. So certainly an increase there in the storm's activity. We're also watching this little bit of a hook here. Of course, again, this being a supercell thunderstorm has rotation in it. Might maybe be trying to kind of get some of that a little bit down to the surface, but at the moment it doesn't appear that it is overly strong. But this is a really good looking thunderstorm, Michael. This is a really good looking thunderstorm here. Again, is that hail? It looks like no one is moving, I think, on the interstate at the moment. So again, watching to see if this low-level rotation maybe tries to increase a bit more, but really the big thing is the hail right now. We are easily seeing, 1 to 2 inch size hail pretty much right over downtown Omaha. Now, it looks like Council Bluffs probably got in on a little bit of this, but really it looks like it might have just kind of went a little bit around the Council Bluffs area. The highest hail report I've seen from Council Bluffs, which is on the Iowa side, pea-size hail. Seems like everything has been over in the Omaha. That's the way the reports are looking. Yep, there you go. That's some hail on the. There you go. So you can see there's some hail there on the road. A little icy there, a little crunchy. Do you happen to know this is I-80 westbound at 13th Street? So let's see here, I-80 westbound. So we're looking down here. Give me a second here. My guess is 28th Street. Here it is, right here. So that camera that you're looking at is right here, right by the Comfort Inn at the zoo. It's right there. So, and actually, Michael, if there's like a shot to the west or southwest, do they have that option, or is it just pointed one way? Because what I want to see is if we're able to see there's a little bit of a wall cloud or something. I mean, my guess is that there is. I was just curious as to what that looked like there, but no, it's fine if there isn't one. That might be it. What is that? Milepost 452. Well, that doesn't do me any good.
So that's I-80 at Highway 75.
Highway. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's actually right where you need it to be. Is it looking west? Do you know? Because if it's looking west or southwest, it's looking right at that. I'm assuming that's. Right, yeah, that's what I'm assuming. And you know what? They might be getting more hail here in a minute. You notice the cars under the overpass.
Oh, yeah.
So my guess is that's actually a good shot. We might want to keep that. Oh, it has various views. Oh, never mind. I read it wrong. Wow, I just completely read that wrong. I can read. Never mind. Yeah, well, so this is an area that might be coming right up on getting some more hail here. So this image looks to be about 2 minutes old, but it's still current enough. Let's take a look at some other hail reports that we've gotten. 1.5, 1 inch size hail, 2.5 inch. Well, that was, we already got that one. Yeah, there's a lot of hail going on in Omaha, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches, and even maybe a little bit more than 2 inch size hail. For the moment, it looks like it's going to stay away from the Nebraska Methodist Hospital. It's kind of dropping south, so pretty much right along the hail core itself. We're seeing it right over Fox Run Golf Club, coming up on Fontella Forest, potentially making its way into Bellevue here. We'll see if it stays up. Now, as for Omaha portion of it, like I said, that's going to possibly be running straight down 75 here. So, I mean, that's a lot of hail there we see on these pictures across Omaha, courtesy of the Nebraska Department of Transportation for all your Nebraska Department of Transportation needs. Yeah, you like that one? It's been a long day. Like I said, a little bit of a hook with the storm here, but again, we kind of expect that. So this guy is going to be moving out of the Omaha area, but not before it continues to drop a bit more hail. Epley Field still seeing heavy rain right now. Same thing with Carter Lake, but it's looking like that large hail is now kind of moving away. So a little bit of a rain here, probably another 10, 15 minutes or so, and then that'll begin to move out. My guess is that normal operations will probably resume at the airport.
Yeah.
In the meantime, though,
that hail, though, Timmy, you can see it in this picture right here. With the, you can see it on the interstate there. Those cars.
Oh, wow. That is awesome. Oh, sweet. Boy, I bet that was loud, huh?
Oh, yeah. They got to be freaking out on that. So, yeah, that's why. And if you can see.
I think you're muted again. Michael? Michael? I think you're muted. No, Michael, come back. Hey.
The battery must have died. All right.
No.
But anyway, yes, you see cars are parked underneath the bridge.
It's moving slow, too.
Yeah. And I'll see, the camera is on where is that, but yeah. I think they're blocking traffic, and you can see here, I think their cars are blocking traffic, and it's backed everybody up.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, that's right where the heaviest of the hail went right over. I mean, the heaviest of the hail, at least from what we saw on radar, went pretty much right from Carter Lake down now to the south side of Omaha. And so it went over a couple of big interchanges. It went over the US 75 I-80 interchange. It went its way over Epley Field and all those little interchanges there too. So I guess in this regard, though, not during rush hour. Otherwise, my guess. But then again, I mean, Omaha is kind of a little bit of more of a condensed metro, so. We really saw it on the eastern side of Omaha. Elkhorn been pretty quiet there. Waterloo been pretty quiet there. You get the idea. Papillion, where the baseball field is, that's going to be staying just to the northeast of Papillion. But Bellevue could be getting in on some of this hail here in just a bit. This is the area right here that we're watching. This kind of purplish area. That's where that hail is with that storm. I mean, so it looks like it kind of missed the Council Bluffs area by a little bit. They still did get some hail, but it looks like the heaviest of the hail was not there. Regardless of the fact, again, could be coming up on Bellevue here, almost parallel with a US 75 right now here. So that'll be making its way down. Meanwhile, north of Omaha, Epley Field, still a little bit of a kind of a steady, heavy rain, but that'll likely be tapering off here, like I said, the next 10 to 15 minutes. Same thing, Carter Lake. Does not look like there's any hail really ongoing there right now. Garden Valley Courts, all that going to be quieting down there. And then behind that, there really isn't much more activity. So aside from this, kind of thunder boomer here, really not much else going on. In fact, take a look, Michael, at our other storm. It is falling apart.
Hey, look at that.
Yep. Nonetheless, this storm itself here managed to produce at least some 3-inch size hail. We got a couple of little reports of 3-inch size hail, so I thought I'd pass that along here. We are getting some hail reports now coming out of the south side here of Omaha, north of Bellevue, 2.5 inches. Half dollar size, so that'd be 1 1/4. So that's coming right up in the Bellevue area here. We'll see exactly how that tracks, but I'm going to be seeing some hail there too. Pretty cool.
I was just
Any
trying
other
to
cool shots?
see if we got any more information. With that, I don't see much. I wonder how the Falcon cam is doing. Let me check on that real quick.
Oh yeah, how's the bird?
What about the bird? Where did I see the bird? The Falcon cam. Here we go. Hang on a second. Yeah, pull this up here. Oops, that's not the bird.
That's an advertisement.
That'd be an advertisement. All right. Hang on a second. Yeah, that don't look like no Falcon.
Oh, come on. Oh, no, I think it's there.
Yeah, it's there. It's there.
Man, we should have had this on earlier when the hail was happening.
I don't know. What were we thinking?
I completely forgot about that camera. I wish. Is there a rewind option?
It doesn't look like it.
I bet that bird was not happy.
I just take a picture of it.
Dear Falcon camera.
Archive.
Oh, you can back it up.
Hey, look at that.
Did Kenny say where in Omaha this thing was?
No. I'm going to assume downtown since it's this high up.
Oh, yeah, I guess that was, I guess the buildings that. So there's the bird just chilling out. So what did he say about that bird? What's its significance?
No idea.
Oh. Kenny, get Kenny back. That heavy hail looks like it is now over Bellevue at the moment. Birdie. Oh, what is that a view of? Oh, that's a tree.
Carolina. My bad.
Well,
It's live. Okay, we'll just stick to live. So the Falcon is okay. It's made it through the storm.
I was so worried.
My microphone didn't make it through the storm, but the Falcon did.
Well, thank God for priorities.
So yeah, we'll have to let Kenny know. I want Falcon update every once in a while on his social media account. So.
Did he get pictures? Told him to take pictures.
Yep. So we'll have Falcon updates, once a week, and I want a Falcon Friday update. Falcon Fridays. All right.
Falcon Friday. Hey, Kenny, you're now doing Falcon Fridays.
Duties as assigned.
We should just text him that. Just your new job. You're not doing Falcon Fridays. Get over it.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, we'll let him know. We'll send out a group chat so everybody knows about it, and we can expect it. I would say starting this Friday.
It looks like we got 2-inch size hail report coming around the Bellevue area. So it looks like that hail is making its way there. It's now making its way to South Omaha, the south side of Omaha too. It does appear that, like I said, for the most part, out of the northern part of Omaha, the activity is kind of coming down to a taper down, I guess. Things pretty quiet further off. So, like I said, this is pretty much, main activity. Once that storm passes by, that'll be about it. But it's still holding up a pretty good amount of energy as it makes its way to Offutt Fields on the south side there near Bellevue. But some hail reports there. Pretty good storm.
Yeah, it's been a real good storm with this, and so and the one to the north of it's kind of dying out a little bit, but that was a beauty of a storm when it first developed.
Yeah, that thing was funny. That was a good one.
Yeah. And Timmy, we haven't talked at all about the flooding that's taking place in South Florida with that. And so I know the Fort Lauderdale area today received just under 10 inches of rain officially. So quite a bit of flooding going on there, and lots of pictures and videos coming in that show that it's been a very scary situation. So flooding kills a lot of people. So a lot of us make dumb decisions, especially driving in our cars, thinking that we can just drive through, flooded waters, thinking it's just a puddle. But that water can be powerful.
Oh yeah, if you've ever been in, I tell you what, you ever want to know how fast, or go to just get a big bucket of water and just dump it out. I mean, that was a terrible analogy. It doesn't take that much water to move a vehicle. That was a terrible analogy. Just get a big bucket of water and dump it out and make sure it hits you. There you go. There's a video. That's a better. There you go. So it looks wet there in Florida. That'll make the gators happy.
That'd be another reason I wouldn't be out walking in that.
I was walking through the park one day. Here's what I don't understand. Why? Who has their trunk open? Like who? It's not like that just happened. Like it's not like it was just like clear and then boom, 6 feet of water. Did you see that video? That one person had like the trunk open. Like I don't know if they were like unloading the grocery, whatever. But yeah, no, that's impressive. And but this is an area that is built. I mean, I hate to say it, well, this geographically, this is an area that is built really well for flooding. All the hurricanes and tropical moisture. This, on the other hand, looks to be like the middle of a street.
Right.
I'm kind of wondering that was impressive for Florida. But yeah, they've been getting a lot of rain, about 10 inches or so, is what you said, and we had some of those radar estimates earlier. Tropical rainfall, I guess. But yeah, that's so obviously not the case over here in Omaha. They've been dealing with hail. So I bet there's going to be a lot of insurance claims filed around the Omaha area. Oh, there's another Florida. So where is that? You said that was Fort Lauderdale?
This one was Miami.
Huh. Well, those vehicles don't seem deterred. All righty, everyone.
You're like this one, Vinny. You'll like this one.
Well, maniac.
I think we'll leave it on this one.
That is spectacular.
Good night, everybody.
Meanwhile, in Florida, okay, wow, but also I feel like he's been waiting for this moment his whole life.
There you go.
All right. Well, that was an eventful evening, Michael.
Hey, that was good. That was good. We thought we were just going to be on for a little bit, looking at a few severe storms, and turned out to be numerous tornado warnings, even down in the Nebraska area. So,
And a dude dancing in the rain.
Dancing in the
Beautifully.
rain. That's all I'm doing.
Beautifully dancing, mind you.
Awesome. Thanks for your help tonight, Timmy. And
I'm here for.
enjoy the night. We'll talk to you later.
Oh, I will.